There's a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, I'm working live with RDR. That's badass. Original drama cast. Tommy C. Shopping Point. Genie's back. My guilty pleasure is iDubbbz hate videos. Mine too. I don't think it's a hate video. I think it's pretty accurate. We're gonna skip around though. We're gonna give you. I don't want to get sued by Tom.
I mean, I watched the video. The beginning bit's pretty good.
Yeah, it got a little stale to the end. Not because anything Tom did, just because it's all like pretty recent, you know. But yeah, the early stuff I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the. I really enjoyed the part with what's his name? With on Anissa. The part of Anissa was really good.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. It's pretty good.
That's all we're doing today. Somebody sent me a funny Aiden clip too. Fucking meltdown yesterday. He mad. You know, I finally figured them out. They're looking for this like moment. They don't have. It's like they're chasing a dragon. They're chasing closure here, and I'm not going to give it to them. Apparently, Genie fears Chud, I fear Aiden, and you fear everyone, Vault.
Yeah, I'm just so terrified, dude. I'm just the biggest pussy.
You know.
I'm shaking in my boots.
Yeah, I'm with 2 college graduates. You guys all dropped out of school. Queenman. Anything you do in this space is gonna be fucking considered pathetic. This is temporary for them. And me too, folks. Oh God. But yeah, I got a really, really funny clip. I kind of purposely didn't watch it, but JFA got it. It's just hysterical. He gave it to me. So let's swip. Actually, I want to see if this worked because I was messing with this before. The automatic chat viewer. Yeah, it's working today. How about that?
Oh, wow. That's a first.
Tom's video is pretty much a cautionary tale. Yeah, it kind of is.
Oh, that's true.
We'll see how long it lasts.
It kind of is. It is a cautionary tale, I guess. If you never think you're that important to begin with, you'll never get in a position like iDubbbz. Stop thinking you're important. It's not that healthy. Positive self-images are the path to sociopathy. You need to be a loser like everybody else. You haven't melted yet. Lynn's over, and it's bad. Here's the thing: this is the coldest room in the house, and I thought about getting a cot and bringing it down here. It's that bad because Tommy can't go to his room. It's just an inferno. It's like it smells like a sauna in there. That's how hot it is. So he has to come down to the guest room. Wow. That means I sleep in the guest room. But really, I've been sitting on the couch.
My AC right now is on 19 degrees, so I'm pretty comfortable. I might pull it down to 18.
Hold on a second. What's the weather?
Maybe a little bit odd.
Hold on a second. What's the weather in B-Spot? Oh. 80. I got Fahrenheit. What's the Celsius? It's 31 here.
That's nothing. Good pussies.
You got 19. You got 19. 19.
He's got AC.
And here's another fucking thing. Here's another dirty secret about the Middle East. The heat there is easier to deal with. Having visited there myself. You know why?
Well, why?
Because it's no humidity. You don't sweat your fucking nuts off.
We do. I live
in the sun,
by the beach.
But it's
I live by the beach. There's a lot of humidity.
Yeah, that's true. Off the water, yeah. But I mean, you got to be right on it. It's not the same. Desert heat is not like, it's not as bad as everybody thinks. It's just straight heat. You know, it's only 30.
No, I mean, like you've seen, where my country is. It's just all fucking water.
Yeah, it's true. I still think it's better. I still think you got a better deal than I do. You can jump in the water too.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking hot. It's gonna be like a hot tub.
Let's do this. Enjoy. And now we have a chat room for all. So let's enjoy Turkey Tom's magnum opus. Wow, 4 days, almost 1 million views.
In mid-2010s YouTube, no name was more respected than iDubbbz, who, through his...
Yeah, some call us crazy. He's the greatest commentator of all time. iDubbbz. I worship the ground he walks on. I wonder if Clown still feels the same way. I haven't talked to him since this whole story broke. You remember,
it would be funny if Clown is just pro-Palestine now. No. He's so into iDubbbz, he goes pro-Palestine.
Yeah, Jesus.
And I'm like, you know what? Maybe iDubbbz is right. Maybe the Jews should not exist.
He doesn't talk like that. He's a very schoolboy accent. I can't even do it.
Videos became the executioner of content creators. Leafy, Rice Gum, The Fine Bros, Tana Mojo, Keemstar, you name them, and he either successfully glassed their online careers or severely damaged their reputation. So much so that many of his targets aren't even remembered. Fast forward just a few years, and I
often wonder why Keemstar took the iDubbbz video so well. Somebody must have told him something.
He's debased himself to the point where anyone can take a shot at him free of consequences. As hard as it is to understand how an outsider to the influencer sphere was embraced by the public as their judge, it's even hard.
Word on the street is the Chud video. I hope so. Well, I absolutely hope so, Lumpy Willie. I absolutely hope so. Because he can't get around what I did. He can scream to you guys. He can preach to the choir. But the fact of the matter is all of Spicy Chat and all of your clique with the Chudiverse is on an island. Nick and what's his face? Willie have moved past you. Mostly because you can't say, "What are you doing, mate?" forever, and everybody thinks it's funny. No one's going to collab with any brains, and you will be on the island. No one wants to because they're going to get called a pedophile eventually. So please put me out there.
Harder to understand why he chose to self-destruct in such a pitiful way. Unlike many people whose demise comes as they fall out of mainstream appeal and get tangled up in controversy, iDubbbz was the opposite. He diligently grew his audience by engaging in the most vile and offensive antics imaginable.
Say Nick, I'm gay. Oh, it's a single piece of paper that says Nick. Everyone type Alex the stupid.
I could honestly go on and on compiling clips of that sort because those were his bread and butter. And he wasn't only liked for it, he was loved for it. A good comparison, which will become pretty apt when we get to their falling out, is H3H3, who used to do a similar kind of content where he dunked on low-hanging fruit targets, sometimes going as far as to make fun of cringy kids. However, H3 simultaneously did serious attempts at calling out situations he saw as injustices, not only on YouTube, but in general, pivoting away from content that was just meant to be comedic.
Willie, I hope your wonderful performance on the show is featured.
And trying to legitimize himself as a social commentator by punching up. As this pivot gradually took place, H3 decidedly became part of the greater community, and for the most part, became a lot less controversial, at least for a while. Meanwhile, iDubbbz brazenly made fun of anyone who wandered into his crosshairs, whether they were disabled.
My name is Pisces Akono, and I'm here to say, you iDubbbz with your f***ing ass cockamamie bullshit!
Or schizos.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Schizophonic TV. This is Lucic Diamond Eyes.
Dude, he literally cannot help the beatboxing. It's like his Tourette's.
None of it mattered. No target was too low. No joke was too offensive. And he didn't just do it, but he was also good at justifying it.
Straight off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I'm perfectly fine with bullying. Make fun of someone because they're fat, autistic, or riddled with acne. I don't care. Make fun of them. I think my only stipulation with the bullying is that you also have to not be a pussy. But you can't say that one because it's got sort of a It's guttural. Either all of them are okay or none of them are okay. It's either all okay.
Remember those days?
Or none of it's okay.
All of this
actually,
really
like,
set
lived by
iDubbbz
that
at a
same for a
different
while.
class from people.
Remember those days?
That was like my go-to saying. So, but
That was okay. None of it's okay. Until that woman got a hold of him. Oh boy.
what are you trying to do?
Yeah, hold on a second.
People who were just simply edgy for the sake of it, or because they were looking to grift off of a more edgy, or in some cases, more conservative audience. Up until 2020, iDubbbz was one of the few people who stuck true to his original audience, without diluting it or trying to have his fan base admire him parasocially. He made very funny, even if offensive, YouTube videos, without dumbing down his content or engaging in unnecessary drama, something most people would see as integrity. But as the decade approached its end, there were some signs that the times were changing. Ian's uploads not only slowed down, but they became much more vague in theme. His tried and true formats like Bad Unboxing and Content Cop increasingly gave way to casual iDubbbz complains videos or things like the fast food tier list. Granted, even in this slightly reduced form, he still managed to post videos like his documentary on Airsoft Fatty, Full Force, which now sits at nearly 25 million views. But if you were an avid viewer and you paid attention to the tone of the jokes, there was a vibe shift underway, although no one could predict how devastating its ultimate consequences would be. You see, all the way back in 2016, at what was safely iDubbbz's peak in online hype, he began dating fellow content creator Anissa Jamha. By merit of clicking on this video, you probably know who Anissa is from her current online infamy. But long before that, she was a small League of Legends streamer under the alias Rainbow Kids, although that description hardly tells the whole story. In March 2016, Anissa's first big claim to fame came in the way of a video titled A Day in the Life of a Booby Streamer, which racked up hundreds of thousands of views in a matter of months. Although it's no longer available, the title is pretty self-explanatory, and it was released at a point in time where booby streamers were taking their first steps toward the full-fledged domination of certain streaming platforms through trends like hot tub streams. Just by looking at the videos recommended on the side, you can figure out that this was Anissa's hustle at the time, with channels like Sexy Gamer Girls or Cute Twitch Girls uploading clips of her streams where she did risque things, as well as commentary channels of the time criticizing the kind of content she made. But despite her already being somewhat infamous for sexualizing herself at the time, her day in the life video was attached to an announcement that she'd be moving away from that kind of content, which she later clarified through a series of Reddit posts. This public pivot got so much traction that it earned itself an article on Kotaku, where Anissa actually contributed and gave a quote. "I would play ranked games on stream, and I would lose every single one because I was just so focused on the fact that my straps on my push-up bra were digging into my shoulders, and I would look over at chat, and like every second comment is calling me a slut and a whore. It's just not fun for me anymore. I'm not saying that it's wrong to do this. If you are a female and you feel sexy doing this, all the power to you. I just wanted to explain to everybody why I personally am sick and tired of doing this, not comfortable doing this, nor do I feel like it's right for me to do this." Despite this article focusing on how merciless
She kind of like has a history of this shit.
Well,
She like started off this
I had
attention.
Yeah, and he does get into that. I mean, it's a weird it's a weird thing because if you want to do this stuff, if you want to do this stuff, you have to want attention. I know this from playing in bands and stuff. You have to want a certain amount of attention. You have to be comfortable with it. There's an unhealthy way to do it and there's a healthy way to do it. But I think what happens is, and I felt this way too before, I got caught up in it. I think you go to the beta days, especially going from like 0 to that big and overnight. You can't imagine your life without it. And that's when you start doing weird stuff. Whereas for me, I was like, I just turned 40. I had an entire life prior to that. It wasn't that big to adjust. If you're 20 and it's all you know, then it's a problem. It's what Leafy told me. It's like, he seems to think the worst thing that can happen to you is make a couple $100,000 before you're 18, which sounds like,
I guess that would kind of like become your entire life, more or less, where you would have like nothing else, where all your friends would also like be YouTubers, all that. So
I hate this thing. Why does it always not work?
It's not working again.
Yeah, just in the middle of it. I hate that. Yeah, it's reconnected. Here we go.
toxic the community could be, Anissa's decision was met with plenty of support, with people saying they preferred her non-sexual content. Other people, like Brittany Venti, immediately cast doubt on the sincerity of Anissa's pivot, claiming her content hadn't changed as much as she suggested it would. However, the clips that were shown as proof of the content not changing weren't really hard-hitting evidence, as they consisted of Anissa showing off a t-shirt and walking around in her room, a far cry from her extremely sexualized streams from before. About a month later, Anissa uploaded a video where she criticized feminism.
I don't feel like I need to be a...
Why, 2016? Why do you think that was?
Yeah, just during the whole Anti-SJW.
Yeah. No, it was popular at the time. That was like, it was an easy way to get views.
Yeah. It was like the whole big thing.
Ask Chris Reagan, because that was like his whole thing. You know, I mean, I don't really
she has like a crush on him too.
Yeah, that was Jeannie's whole thing back then, right? Right, Jeannie?
A little bit, I would say, I would have said before the Drunken Peasants, that would have been my thing. Cause I did watch stuff like Bearing.
Bearing was pretty good back in the day.
I think I watched Kraut for little bits and pieces. Might have been a little bit of Sorry.
And that's 10 years ago now. Like it
was more so the skeptic community.
Yeah, but they were all pretty much modern feminism or second wave feminism, or whatever they called it. You know, even the liberal guys, quote unquote.
Part of a movement in where I can dye my hair blue and become 500 pounds overweight and claim that I'm still beautiful. Like, I don't get it. And I'm not saying that I disagree with what feminism actually is. I'm not saying that I disagree with what the OG movement of what feminism is. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that you can't even like claim to support feminism anymore without it leaving a bad taste in people's mouths because of third wave feminism.
This kind of video was pretty...
Yeah, so she's regurgitating all the fucking Chris Reagan shit at that point. Yeah.
Common around that time, with huge content creators like Shoe on Head making similar content, both in format and theme. Regardless...
Sargon, man, Jeannie, you have no taste. Actually, I don't think you were a Sargon girl, were you?
Well, I think it would be like I see him mentioned in a video and I check out a video.
I can't imagine you liking Sargon.
I just mention it because I do remember watching a video or so.
Well, he was like the king of all.
And I'm trying to remember names.
All the skeptic dopes.
Oh yeah.
List of how on the
bunch of phonies too.
Rise criticizing feminism was at that point, Anissa didn't seem like she was being dishonest or grifting, especially since she continued to make those points even after it clearly didn't net her any popularity. Later on, she slightly disavowed the whole anti-SJW movement, but didn't overall change her opinions, signaling that they weren't just a product of being influenced by other people.
What are your thoughts towards SJWs? I feel like this, the SJW thing has kind of just been beaten to a pulp at this point. I think that anybody that's on any extreme point of anything is wrong.
In July...
Brilliant! They're wrong!
A month before her and iDubbbz started dating, she made a video giving dating advice for men, where she provided a mind-bending amount of foreshadowing for the rest of the story.
I have dated a lot of dudes. I will not lie to you. Nice guys do finish last. I wish that I could, meet a nice guy who was right away emotionally available and committed and just be like, holy shit, I want to date you forever. But there's something about it that is an extreme turnoff for a lot of women. In my opinion, when a man opens himself up emotionally fully and commits fully, it is essentially like a woman sleeping with a man. It's on the same...
She's right. She's 100% correct here.
Level of giving. But if a girl slept with you on the first date, chances are you wouldn't be very interested in having an actual relationship.
Depends on how good she was.
If you give a woman your full emotional availability, they will take it for granted.
Anything wrong with what you're saying, Jeannie?
No, I wouldn't say so.
You have to lure, you have to stay a little mysterious with women.
Yeah.
You have to at least make them think there's more to you. It probably isn't. Something you didn't tell them. I'll tell you who really hates that shit. European girls. They really don't want to hear how you feel. It's it's almost an exclusively American thing. I remember the Irish girls, off the boat Irish girls would say that guys just talk about their feelings, because Irishmen stuff their feelings and then they drink them and then they die. So they're used to that. And if you fucking break down in tears or something like that, it's a huge turnoff.
And they will not value it to the same extent that they should. And by not valuing it, they will also not respect you to the same extent that they should. And that
really, she's dead on the money. A guy's being overly emotional, and this is in general. There are women that like that. There's always an exception to the rule, but we're talking in general. And if you're fishing, you want to use the best bait. A guy crying is like a girl fucking or being too emotional or seem too attached. It's so weird with women. You have to show you're interested in them, but make them believe you don't like them as much as you do. It's the weirdest fucking balance ever. It's the strangest fucking thing.
opens you up for disinterest and, in worst case scenario, abuse, because you will be abused if you're not respected. It's just the way it is.
It is.
Being a nice guy means that you're a selfless human being and you want to put others in front of you. And I know it's extremely hard, but it's something that if you just throw yourself at that person, chances are you're not going to get out of...
It's claim for Spain. If you've already put the flag down, it's already been conquered. There's nothing interesting anymore.
The relationship what you want. A lot of guys, if you're
nice to, that's not exactly what she's saying. I know you're joking around a little bit, Bobax. I know I'm not taking you literally, but it depends on what you. It's not that if you're nice to your girlfriend, you can be nice to your girlfriend and not reveal any too much. You know, I think the rule of thumb is only reveal stuff when you have to.
find a woman that you think is worth your time and you think is interesting and you think is deserving of the world, you will immediately put them on a pedestal and think that they deserve everything. And it has happened to me before, and as soon as you put that woman on a pedestal, you are asking for trouble, especially in the gift market. Things that are just instant turnoffs for women. Crying. A good rule of thumb, if she is not crying, you should not be crying. Period. It shows overall emotional weakness, and later on in life, you wonder how they're going to handle serious, actual, legitimate...
That is true, because women think long term. Guys think about next time they're getting laid.
...issues. Crying at really stupid shit is a really good way to make a girl not like you really fast.
She's right, and not only that, the ones that like it the least are the ones that say they like it the most. That's the real kicker. I've seen that before. Yeah, I just want him to show a little emotion. Then he cries at one of your stupid fucking movies, and then it's not the same. You might as well be gay.
Fast.
It truly fills one's mind with contemplation to see her saying this stuff, knowing how it all ends. In the same month as this was published, another Kotaku piece went up.
It doesn't make it any... Just because she's changed your mind doesn't make it any less true.
Up this time, reporting on the fact that Anissa's mother, Maureen, was one of the moderators in her Twitch chat. Interestingly enough, here it's mentioned that both of Anissa's parents are quite conservative and religious, and despite being quite protective over her, Maureen was respectful of her wishes to let the chat come at her and only moderate when things got super out of hand. According to her, Anissa wasn't hurt by anything said online, as she didn't take it seriously and understood people were just trolling. In January 2017, a few months into her relationship with Ian, Anissa did an AMA wherein she spoke about how their relationship began, explaining they met after TwitchCon 2016 and immediately hit it off and never stopped talking to each other. On the surface, this seems completely innocuous, but
you know what it makes me think too? That there's something to her being into other men, because that's something she's been accused of. I mean, like they put it out in Drama Alert, like on the newsfeed, like years ago, that she was involved. This is a long time ago that she was involved with the. Or fell for one of the boxers or something, you know, and maybe that's why she.
Yeah.
There was no evidence.
There was like a rumor about
no
it.
Evidence. Yeah, and there was no evidence to back it up, like none. But then the boxing coach said she was into some guy over there or something. So who knows? It's the same thing. Who knows if they got that story over there and just added to it, which wouldn't surprise me at all when it came to Drama Alert.
But even at this point, some things didn't add up. Although she doesn't at all mention this in her AMA for obvious reasons. Not only did she have a boyfriend when she invited Ian to hang out after TwitchCon, her boyfriend went with her to TwitchCon and only broke up with him a week later. Additionally, another aspect of the timeline here that was broken later on is that Anissa went on to claim she was still a booby streamer by the time the two got together, which is verifiably untrue. While it is small, these establish a pattern of slightly bending the truth whenever it's convenient to do so. Just like her relationship with Acadian, within a year of being with Ian, she was telling random people on her Discord server that they weren't doing well. And not only were they close to breaking up, but they'd already previously experienced a relationship scare. Around the same time, Anissa was both privately and publicly signaling she was becoming closer to YouTuber Chris Raygun, saying he'd be more willing to defend her from online hate than Ian. With these things being discussed online,
no, he wouldn't. He's a total pussy. Are you kidding me?
and he's,
well, maybe he did go after Nick after he made fun of Bunty King. No, there's some truth in that. Remember, he put his like thick New York accent on, and he was like, "Hey there." He does that whole thing, which is a total act.
That was becoming increasingly disliked. And however gratuitous some of it may be, she really put in an effort to say insanely bad stuff in public for seemingly no reason.
Lion Maker, whatever his
Yeah,
name was.
I
was
don't
accused of
understand.
What? You stop talking.
I understand. Like, why does she keep just saying stuff? She sucks.
The need for like online relevance is just never ending.
Pedophilia, like it gave me a lot of anxiety because I feel like a lot of it is based on a lot of fiction and not a lot of fact. And like if the person really isn't as bad as people think it is, which most of the time they're not, then you're just watching people rip apart somebody that maybe doesn't deserve it as much as, like, I don't know. It's just sad seeing somebody get ripped apart.
Simultaneously, her content was floundering. You see, Anissa's videos around this time were focused on things like
she became iDubbbz girlfriend,
her suffering from body dysmorphia and anorexia, her negative experience.
Well, that's something I want to see instead of a pair of tits. I want to hear about your body dysmorphia.
Oh, yeah, I want to see your ribs.
Oh, do tell. Do tell.
With sending nudes, her fitness journey, how Instagram models are deceptive, all of which kind of echoed.
I don't know. Guys are so weird. Like, I like a good pair of tits as much as the next guy, but it's like if I go see these booby streamers, like, nice set, talk, click. I mean, that's it. Maybe I just don't cherish them as much as I should. I don't know.
The same
but
thing.
You get a guy, you get a good set of tits, you could like completely mesmerize a dude.
Handling her insecurity with her appearance and how the need for.
Well, you have that problem, right? Do you got guys that talking to your chest and not in your eye, looking in your eyes?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Do you have to do that? I hate when people say like up here. It's happened to me.
I usually
Validation.
don't. It's funny because it's so obvious because other people know.
You don't realize you're doing. You don't realize you're doing it because when I was a teenager, I got a few of those.
Yeah.
Look up here, but you don't even realize it. It's so embarrassing.
From strangers can lead to compulsive, self-destructive behavior. Then, in March 2020, she made an OnlyFans. I can't really say enough to highlight the irony of this, so I hope it's self-evident. Overnight, the undercurrent of people who were aware of Anissa's existence and disliked her suddenly became mainstream, as multitudes of people began to ridicule both Anissa for joining OnlyFans.
Arcadian was about 18 or 19 when they split for Ian. I really don't think that's like. I don't think that's a big fucking deal. I mean, I guess the old time. Like, I guess if I was young, I would care. But it's just when you get old, people break up. They fall in love. You know, I've talked about it. You know, I ended up getting a fucking restraining order when I was fucking 21 because I went berserk. I should have totally just let it go. So, like, and I don't have any ill will towards those people anymore. They got fucking married. They have a bunch of kids. Now they're old and fat like me. You know, it's just shit happens. You know, of course she wasn't honest about it. You know, where's my wrong one?
and iDubbbz for continuing to be with her as she explicitly sexualized herself for strangers for money. To be fair, this feeding frenzy for trolls only really reached a fever pitch after iDubbbz made a video about the situation, wherein he claimed his audience simply didn't know him well enough if they ever assumed he'd have a problem with not safe for work material. The thing is, he kind of sidesteps the point, which isn't adult material itself, but the fact that his girlfriend was making it. For the majority of people, even just consuming that kind of thing while in a relationship is bad. So one would imagine that when Anissa proposed posting explicit images online for any stranger to engage with, that idea wouldn't even be considered.
You know, honestly, if he just said, I don't give a fuck, full stop, it would have been over. If he like explaining himself with the OnlyFans, he doesn't care. It's fucking. If he came, I'm a rock star, and fucking I dated a chick with a great body. I don't give a fuck. Bye. That's it. People would have whined, they would have bitched, they would have done all that stuff. But the fact that he explained it and said, I don't care if people jerk off to my girl, it just got too visual. I actually remember I originally defended him on it because when I grew up, all these rock stars are dating porn stars, and it wasn't that big a deal. You know, it wasn't that big a deal if you were like a rock star. You know, and that's. I think if he acted more like a rock star, then I think less people would have gave a fuck. And then if he laughed it off when people brought it up,
tolerable, let alone actively supported.
Like, you know what I would have said? Like, your girlfriend shows her tits on OnlyFans. What level sub are you? And I would have said something like that. You fucking creep. Stop looking at my girlfriend's tits. Make a whole joke out of it.
And I think all of it is cool.
That's the problem. It just sounds weird. It's not very convincing either.
It just sounds like very as if like he's just this pro sex work guy. He's just really
yeah.
Empowering.
He didn't have to
very empowering.
He didn't have to go that route. He could have just said,
"No, yeah,
she's got a good body. She wants to show it off. What can I do?"
No, it just really turns into a thing about feminism for some reason.
See, that's what he was leaning toward. Like Tom notices that. You know, he's moving in that direction. And I also get the feeling some people told him to say this.
Yeah, Nisa.
Probably.
Yeah,
that's who. Nisa.
I didn't think it would be a controversial opinion either. A good amount.
Really? I mean, God, even the rock stars dating porn stars knew it was controversial. Remember being controversial was like cool?
Of people are just doing the reasonable thing and just making jokes and laughing about it. But there's a whole nother group of people who feel personally devastated and betrayed. You lied to us.
To play a bit of devil's advocate here.
And he's right. And those people are fucking weird. And they're a good part of your audience. Just let them feel that way. They'll come back if you start making funny shit, you know? But this is about being seen a certain way and being seen as important. And to him, the pro sex work stance, as you put it, was important. It makes him look sophisticated. And it doesn't. It just makes you look like a cuck.
The debate gets heavily...
I remember he said something. He tweeted something out, like making a joke. Like, and I think he changed his name to World's #1 Simp or something like that, which was kind of funny. And then he did this video. It was so strange. It was... First he was owning it, and then he was like defending it.
Sidetracked by people saying he was a hypocrite, which doesn't really apply since Ian hadn't ever expressed being against it on a moral level. But while accusations of him being a hypocrite or a simp miss the mark, obviously the average person is going to have a problem with sending nudes to other people while in a relationship.
Why is it that his hair used to be combed? He looked better. He looks normal here. Now he looks like a grease ball.
And find it objectionable, whether it's to one person or to your parasocial gooner army. He makes a point here about how someone cranking it to your girlfriend doesn't affect you and wouldn't constitute cheating, but that's not exactly comparable to your significant other actively inviting people to do it. Lastly, Ian remarks that this decision wasn't...
He's clearly depressed, yeah, I guess.
Nisa stooping to that level for money, but again, her own Discord messages show that she strongly resented not getting enough attention and not making enough money online. Even during the period she was already with him, attention and didn't technically need to make a living. Anissa herself admits that the financial reward of doing OnlyFans was extremely important for her and went toward helping her family, so that absolutely was a factor. The thing is, 3 years prior, Ian had offered to pay for her to go to college, meaning she could have done something else to make money, but instead opted to do OnlyFans. Why? Well, it's all but made explicit that Ian's attention wasn't enough for her, as she admittedly wanted attention from strangers online, even if it came from terminal gooners.
Yeah.
Oddly, in her video
all
about
it is.
Yeah, you get
Yeah, that's all
you get
it's
addicted
about.
to the dopamine, and then when she became iDubbbz girlfriend, and then cut the booby streaming at the same, but all the booby streaming at the same spot. You know, he like Tom said something before to the effect of like she didn't need to do it. In other words, iDubbbz could pay for it, and that's okay. I gotta be honest with you, most girls don't want to do that. I mean, not that they should be doing all the OnlyFans. Most women I know want to work, and the only
They
ones
want a
I
source of independence
But, like,
income
so
as
you-
well.
well, yeah, you want to be able to fucking spend your
He
own
was gonna
money.
pay for her college.
Well, that was
He was
that
gonna
would have
pay for
been
her to
that.
go
That's
to a
different.
university.
Yeah. Look, that would have been money worth taking, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but you know that probably
Goddamn.
she had been to college. It means work. What's easier than taking your shirt off? You know, and having money and
Also, what would get you more attention?
But Anissa's
hurt his career.
stance on the wave of hate they got once this situation erupted was that she didn't care about other people's view of her.
You're
The thing
right.
is, you can't really have it both ways, and clearly validation from online strangers does matter to her. Otherwise, what's the point of posting her pictures online? You could say money, but again, Ian himself offered her alternatives years before, and she turned it down. What's rarely highlighted when this topic is covered is that Anissa's OnlyFans
A different girl. You know, the tattoos are awful.
is directly related to her often discussed issues with her body image. However much Ian and her try to pretend that posting not safe for work content is empowering or is somehow healing her.
I gotta be honest with you. I had never heard of OnlyFans. I don't even know how long it was around before that. Anissa, in my opinion, is the poster child for OnlyFans. From my perspective, I think she's the one that put it on the fucking map. Am I wrong? I didn't even know what OF was until she did it. Did you know about it before that? Like in 2019, 2018? I never heard of it once. Cast, crew?
I think it was there before. I'm sure
But
it was.
it wasn't like a household word until she did it.
Popularity.
Until she did it, it wasn't.
I don't know. I think there was.
Anissa
I
thought.
think there were probably other bigger names before because it started apparently in 2016.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a household name on the internet until she did it. She put it on the map.
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with that, but
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah, I think you're probably wrong on that one, but
well,
I'm
maybe
just not
because I'm
sure.
in
how
my
to-
fucking late 40s at the time. I
true.
don't give a shit about OnlyFans,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about it morally, I strongly doubt that showing whole online is the cure for a mental illness. If it is, I'm looking forward to the OnlyFans and BetterHelp partnership in the future. While OCD and BDD aren't necessarily tied to sexualizing yourself, there is a condition called histrionic disorder, which is. Other symptoms
He's going to play doctor, but you got to admit, this is on the money.
include compulsive
Yeah,
oversharing
it is
about one's
exact.
It
Yeah,
is
it's perfect.
on the money.
private life, even to the point of embarrassing friends or family, dressing in a provocative manner for attention, being strongly opinionated about things they don't know much about, being easily influenced by peers and emulating them, and the list
The emulation is really there.
goes on. Given that this condition typically manifests in girls in their early 20s, right around the time Anissa became a booby streamer, there may be some reason for concern. But regardless
I wouldn't have said that.
of Anissa's issues, even after this pivot, Ian was developing his own problems. In 2021, Ian's new documentary was recorded, wherein he spent a few days with comedian Sam Hyde. But the actual contents of it weren't seen until early 2022, when Sam, allegedly due to not getting any communication from iDubbbz for months and growing frustrated due to having spent 15 grand on it, became suspicious that Ian wouldn't release it at all, and released the footage he had gotten. Over nearly 2 hours of video, it's revealed that most of, if not all of that 15 $15 grand Sam mentioned had been spent hiring actors and renting things in order to create the appearance of a bizarre lifestyle. For example, a paid actress played the part of Sam's cracked
She's gotta get an Academy Award, this chick.
out girlfriend, with him verbally abusing her and drinking her breast milk. To go over each and every one of the hundreds of little gaslighting pranks Sam and his crew ran on Ian would take a long time. So hopefully that one example is enough to represent them. However,
see, I have a belief that nobody has. I think he figured out very early that he was going to punk him, and he punked him first. That's what I think. Now, their explanation is, no, we weren't trying to do that. We're just trying to make it really fun and funny. Then why are all the jokes directed at Ian himself then? Doesn't that fuck up the documentary?
He probably knew. He probably knew that they were gonna just fuck him over.
I think
I'm sure he knew.
I think he knew. I think he picked up on it. I don't buy this.
Because I don't know if you remember, there was like a confrontation.
Yeah.
There was like a confrontation where Ian they were talking and they talked about, okay, so why do you dislike me? Ian Sam was asking that to iDubbbz.
But I don't think you know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking they picked up on it before they even set foot in front of each other.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you're right. Yeah,
because most people fight me on this one. Sam and Airsoft are literally business partners. Now it wasn't just helping. Yeah, I think Sam smelled a rat, because he's got to be asking himself. Well, they got the OnlyFans. He's starting to make more lefty statements. He made statements about Leafy. He's got to be at least suspicious he's moving in that direction. Like now it's after the turn on Ethan Klein, it's like 100%. But there was some signs there prior to that.
The actual moment where Sam reveals to Ian that most of what he experienced in the first couple of days there was just an elaborate prank isn't actually in Sam's footage, and it would only appear a month later when Ian uploaded his version of the documentary.
I'm curious about your relationship with Danny. Has she
This is the best part of the video.
Been on drugs since she met you?
She's been on drugs since before she met me. So if you're implying that I've driven her to drug use, you are incorrect.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's what I wanted to sort of get out of the way.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad we got that out of the way.
Have you tried to get her any help?
No, seeing as she's a girl I paid $500 to shave her head and pretend to be my girlfriend, no, I haven't tried to get her any help. Should you want me to try?
Wait, okay.
I don't know her that well. It's probably not my business to get her off drugs. Also, I think I told her to put her hand in your pocket and pretend to be on drugs.
Shut up.
You think are you serious? You think I would date a girl that has her hair shaved like that?
Yes.
You think I'm a mental case?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So I think he got a good read. So, like, look, you're coming to, he thinks that Ian's coming to make a video about a loser. Let's give him what he wants.
Yes.
You think I would spill?
Here's another thing. Sam, since 2016, has been dealing with dishonest reporter after dishonest reporter after dishonest reporter. He probably smelled it a mile away, where Ian thought he was being slick. Like, he really thought they were going to go there and show this guy that's just falling apart at the seams since his internet fame is gone. And it just wasn't like that.
Spill rock stars and Legos all over my office. Like
he didn't do his homework, was what happened. He probably should have watched his stuff, looked at what he was doing, how successful he was in that. Because Sam's popularity is within his own group. Now, he wasn't growing. It was strong. I mean, I've been hearing about Sam since I don't know how long. And I heard about Sam in 2017 and 2018. I mean, Mediger would put him out there and reference him, and people would use his memes, and he still had a really big fan base. And I guess Ian just thought if you weren't at the top like he was, then you were nothing.
An animal and have 20 people in a dentist's office. You know this is a converted dentist's office, right? That's why there's like paintings of like whales on the walls and
Ian, you silly guy. So you're punking me?
I'm not punking you. I'm trying to make I thought it'd be funny for your fans. I thought they'd like it. Also,
buy that for a minute. Not for a minute.
The slingshots are rental.
We did get duped by Sam. We didn't get pranked in quite the way we thought we were going to get pranked. It's not easy to say that I'm like happy with the conclusion because I'm still wondering kind of what's real and what's fake.
Given Ian had the documentary ready to go within a month of Sam's video, it's
even that makes iDubbbz look so I can't tell what's real and what's fake. It's like, all right, aren't you supposed to be the expert? Aren't you supposed to be the documentary maker? Aren't you supposed to be the man, the guy that's on the ball? Such a weird thing to say. You know, it's like, I can't tell what's weird and real and fake. I've come here. I'm iDubbbz. I've come here to do a real cutting edge documentary. Get the fuck out of here. You did Hairsaw Fatty. That thing was a joke. Why wouldn't this be a joke?
It's unlikely that he had decided against making it altogether for the past year and slapped it together as a reaction to Sam uploading the footage he had. However, that doesn't change the fact that neither party was fully transparent with their intentions and plans for the documentary. Obviously, to some extent, it must have been Sam's intention to disturb and make Ian look like a fish out of water with no chance to see through the facade. But at the same time,
John donated $15. What's always weird to me when watching these kind of iDubbbz retrospective videos and seeing old clips is how much of an actual entertainer he used to be. LOL. Like now he's completely devoid of entertainer instinct.
Yeah, it seems like they all went away. Thank you so much, Sean. Who's the other guys? The guy in the chat that's going to be here until I say something funny. Well, I'll do something that's funny to you. Ian! What are you doing, mate? Oh, my God! What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, mate. Is that a more up your alley?
Ian's approach to the documentary was clearly meant to be uncharitable. He wasn't making some unbiased gonzo journalist.
Turkey Tom, what are you saying uncharitable? Oh, Tom. What are you doing, mate? Oh, Tom. Oh, wow. What are you doing?
An attempt to capture the strange life of a controversial alternative comedian. He was in his
Look at their smoking. Oh, that could give you cancer. What are you doing? I know it's a joke and everything, but Jesus. Just a washed up comedian smoking.
Way, trying to make Sam look bad. This becomes perfectly clear in perhaps the most dreaded section of this.
Is it better?
This entire documentary, the circle of irony.
This is why it's so difficult to be around Sam.
Look how ridiculous this circle is. Actually, it's pretty ridiculous. What are you doing?
Not even a real circle, man.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, jeez. Oh.
Irony. What the fuck, man?
How's that for clever?
Try to understand him and ultimately make a documentary about him. He lives here. Sam is drenched in meta-irony constantly. He intentionally doesn't make it obvious when he is or isn't joking about something. Why he does this is up for interpretation, I guess.
No, it's because it's fucking funny, you dipshit.
But after seeing how much he appears to involve himself in political ideologies, it seems he prefers to use meta-irony as a shield.
Here, Ian spends around 5 minutes doing an ironically roundabout explanation of how Sam and people like him only pretend to be ironic.
Perhaps it wasn't a good imitation.
When they say extremely right-wing things to avoid suffering any consequences. But if you're at all familiar with Sam's non-sketch content, whether it be his earlier Hyde Wars episodes, or if you happen to be active on the now-defunct $1 Million Extreme subreddit, where Sam frequently posted through his Reddit account, Sam has no issue copping to being genuinely right-wing, and especially no issue with being framed as such. As a matter of fact, he seems to find it fun.
What a right-toid! He's right-brained! Totally raped by the right-wingers!
Funny. For example, when a BuzzFeed journalist reached out to Sam to ask about his social media bans, he simply responded with a racial slur. And I swear there was a screenshot of this, but I couldn't find it. The point being, while Sam has no issue talking about politics, when he can sense that someone is trying to trap him into saying something, he deliberately flouts it to annoy them, which is exactly what he did during Ian's documentary. But going back to Ian's negligent approach to all of this, if he had simply taken the time to do his due diligence, this would become obvious to the point where asking Sam, or even trying to structure the documentary around it, is a complete waste of time, especially if his objective was to make an entertaining video. Lastly, if Ian truly believed Sam was a far-right extremist who veiled his beliefs through a thin veneer of irony, then why would he make a documentary effectively platforming Sam and giving him a wide berth?
Because he thought he was an idiot. That's the one mistake liberals always make. They think anybody who disagrees with them is stupid. Because they know the way. Anything that's swerves outside of their purity twist, they're clearly an idiot. No one can be smart that disagrees with you because you know.
To get hundreds of thousands of new eyes on his content. Even if you look at this from Ian's perspective, it still makes no sense how all of this was carried out, which only adds to how terminally negligent he continued to be, even after beginning his pivot to his new identity.
Doesn't make sense why you'd want to cover Sam to begin with. And Sam figured that out.
Like, yeah, like it was like right after the OnlyFans debacle.
The thing is, like, I always hear things behind the scenes and whispers and stuff like that. And Sam is way bigger than I am. He probably heard whispers about Ian. Even stuff that wasn't. It's not like somebody went, "You never believe this. He went woke or something." It might have been that. It might not have been that like direct. It could have been like, "Well, Ian said," or "Oh, really?" And he knows somebody that knows Ian. And boom, just puts 2 and 2 together. Oh, he's coming upon me. I'll get him. Because I don't buy this shit. I don't buy this shit because it does make him look like a shit if he did it to him first. So Sam can play innocent. I was just trying to make it funny. When it was really, this guy is fucking with me, and I fucked him back before he could do it.
In all likelihood, Ian probably thought that this documentary would be an easy dunk on a guy who was widely known for having his show canceled for being overtly far-right and being blamed for every mass shooting incident in the previous decade. But the exact opposite was the case. While Sam was already experiencing a resurgence in popularity at the time due to one of the original members of MDE, Nick Rochefort, returning to do a podcast-style show with him called Perfect Guy Life, iDubbbz's blunder of a documentary ballooned to well over 6 million views. Ironically, sending Sam back into the stratosphere. With this documentary backfiring to an unbelievable extent, within a few months, Sam reappeared on Ian's radar. This time as the boxing trainer of Harley Morenstein of Epic Mealtime. In 2022, another one of Ian's creative ventures was Creator Clash, extrapolating from the extremely popular wave of influencer boxing events and turning into a full card of YouTubers boxing each other. It's important to mention that outside of the YouTuber gimmick, Creator Clash was held with the objective of raising money for a variety of different charity funds, which will become much more relevant later on.
One of them was Anissa and Ian's ego.
While Sam himself wasn't invited to take part as a fighter, Ian didn't take issue with Harley making content out of Sam's involvement with his training, and for the time being, this signaled that there was no ill will between Sam and Ian. However, when the date of the event approached, it turned out that Sam had been blacklisted from the event, meaning he wasn't allowed to go, despite supposedly paying over $11,000 for 5 front row seats. In a Twitter space, Keemstar asked Ian and Anissa, who was in charge of running the event for some reason, about the situation involving Sam.
We worked with Sam Hyde for a period, and it was tough. He was wanting to put on his own show, and he did, and it was funny. But he's not a super cooperative guy. He's very unpredictable. So involving him in our event just isn't a good idea. I think most people would.
Business risk.
I think most people would understand that.
Yeah, it's a huge business risk. I mean, we're getting guys signing to agree to be within like 7 pounds of each other. I can't trust that. I mean, you can't really trust that. It's just hard to have trust there. Also,
what does she mean? Like trust for
like he's gonna just fuck up. He's gonna do something crazy.
I think it's political, but no, she can't. Trust. She tries to make it sound like it's something like with a weight thing. Weight difference, but it really is.
He's gonna make sure he's 10 pounds different so that he completely fucks up the whole boxing.
I think it's more.
Yeah,
I think we can't bring this extremist to our event. I think that's what she's trying to say without saying it.
So on top of that, it's like we've put way too much money and time into this to have one person. Also, like, do you think Dr. Mike would box on a card with Sam Hyde?
While I have no doubt that there could be people.
Yeah, see, that seems political to me. It's like she's bouncing between both. She's bouncing between, I can't trust him. We need people in this wage class, and then why would Dr. Mike not want to fight?
People, whether it be fighters or potential sponsors, that would pull out if they were aware of Sam.
Is Dr. Mike like a screaming lefty or something like that?
Involvement. It's kind of weird that like Anissa mentioned Dr. Mike of all people as someone who would pull out of the event. Due to this claim on the Twitter space, Sam was quick to antagonize Dr. Mike in response.
There's not one real person following Dr. Mike.
Assuming that Anissa was telling the truth. But when Brandon Buckingham did an interview with Dr. Mike and asked him about it, this is what Dr. Mike had to say.
Did you hear that he banned Sam Hyde from entering the event?
I did not. Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Sorry.
He had like front row $10,000 seats, and then he said he couldn't come to the event.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't know what to say about that. That wasn't my call.
Sad Sam Hyde at home watching this. Do you want to say shout out Sam Hyde?
Sorry, Sam Hyde, that happened to you.
Clearly, based on his...
You had no idea who Sam fucking Hyde was. Not an idea.
He has no clue.
Now, in fairness, I don't know what his politics are, but if he did know, I guess.
Response, not only did he have nothing to do with it, but he wasn't even familiar with the situation. Obviously, based on their shifty behavior, especially later on when Sam joined the Twitter space, they just disliked Sam specifically for his political opinions and didn't want to give him a platform for him to promote himself through. Instead of being honest about it, they pivoted to talking about how hard it was to ensure all of the YouTubers they had on the card were being properly trained by real coaches and wouldn't miss weight, citing Anissa's supposed background in kinesiology to legitimize
What the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
Jeannie, you're smarter than both of us.
It's just, I take it as like PE in a sense.
Kinesiology? Is that even a real? It sounds like a bullshit word. I don't know.
It's like movement in a sense, like body movement. So like PE would, like we would literally at my high school, it wasn't called PE, it was called kinesiology.
Oh, yeah, ours was just called PE. Yeah.
Mine was called PT.
Importance of overseeing these things, which was met with a laughing emoji reaction by Sam.
I have a kinesiology background, nutrition background, so I'm able to kind of like
She was guiding me the whole time. Yeah. Tell me what to eat, when to eat.
It seems they took an approach that put an unusual amount of weight on making everyone involved with the event as comfortable as possible. And in an episode of the H3 podcast from 1 month prior to the event, this was elaborated on mostly by Anissa. But here we have a pretty interesting moment. Legitimate boxing coach Michael Briggs highlights how genuine and generous Ian was when it came to things like pay, only for Anissa to butt in, talking about how fighters are exploited the same way sex workers are. But she laments that there's no
yes, sex workers are exploited.
It's the exact same thing, man.
Exact same thing. Sex workers exploit themselves. That's the whole fucking idea.
And for them to be their own agents.
Yeah, it's all point of it.
I mean, hookers are exploited, but I mean, if you go on OnlyFans, you're not exploited at all. You fucking all goes in your own pocket.
Very similar to like the porn industry for women, the way that fighters are treated.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's very exploitive. They get them young, and they don't tell them all the consequences, and they don't pay them properly, and they don't represent them properly.
You can swallow a fucking 10-inch cock, and you're not treated that well.
How would he train for that?
I have like
you start off small, you slowly
double
work your way up.
Your talents aren't respected.
That's really interesting comparison.
Yeah, and there's no unions or anyone helping them.
No one's protecting them at all.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the industry lately is how women have been.
Look at you entertaining this stupid shit.
Anyone in the industry can go. Like, there's so many people becoming multi-millionaires by going and making OnlyFans and doing their own thing. Yeah. But the boxers can't do that.
We've actually joked about it a few times, making like an OnlyFans.
I gotta be honest, how are boxers worth like any other like minor league athlete? Like they get treated like shit too, you know?
I'm like worse on the boxers too because it's just them.
I mean, boxing a tougher sport. It's more sacrifice. There's more damage you got to live with. But you know, like if you're a 4th league, 3rd league soccer player, I mean, you're not getting treated at a 1st league level. You know, if you're a AA baseball player, you're not getting treated like you're in the MLB. If you're in, I don't know. I mean, I just watched Rocky the other day. First time in like 30 years with my kid. I mean, the whole thing is him coming up and what it's like to be like that working class athlete, you know, and how difficult it is. You fight for like almost no money just to hopefully get noticed. You know, it's weird. It's weird.
For fighters.
Only boxers?
Yeah.
First off, it's kind of frustrating to see how compulsively Anissa has to make
only use me tits.
Everything about OnlyFans. Michael just made a compliment to her husband, and she absolutely had to divert it into some gibberish about exploitation and how fighters should unionize to make more money. Secondly, it's not true that you can't make money in fighting being a free agent. Not only are there people like Kimbo Slice who grew an audience by fighting people online before YouTube existed, but nowadays you have plenty of small, amateur, and otherwise makeshift fighting promotions operating mostly out of YouTube, such as Street Beefs, which has...
I used to watch Street Beefs. Are you allowed to watch it? Is that allowed to be on YouTube? I'm surprised.
You like watch that?
Yeah, I used to watch Street Thieves. Yeah. It's cool, but you know what I like about Street Thieves? Like both guys like shake hands no matter what. You know what I mean? They're not real Street Thieves.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they go. It's backyard MMA, right? And the fighters have a lot of respect for each other, which I kind of like. And they're like regular, like working class people. You know, it looks dangerous.
Has already succeeded at
But there is rules. It's not like there's no rules, but it looks dangerous to me.
producing extremely
like it's
popular
on
fight.
grass. So
I don't know. They have doctors there. If somebody really gets fucking clocked, break their neck or something. I don't know, man. That's what it's.
Or like, how do you know that your opponent
fight,
is not taking drugs or shit?
Well, that's true. Like a I think
that's probably like another problem.
Level, personally, but yeah, like I'd be worried about like if you're in a professional fight, you got guys there that know what they're doing and know what like the worst case scenario looks like. Street beefs. Who's there? I could be wrong. 4 million subs. They may have a perfectly good doctors team there, but it certainly probably wasn't that way when they were first putting it on.
Fighters like Death Sentence, who went on to become a web celebrity. Last but not least, it's only fitting that she's giving this fair pay spiel as a response to Michael Briggs, who has recently come out to say that he, along with his wife, Kate, who was recording the training process, had accepted reduced training fees from Ian as they'd been promised exposure from the documentary that was supposed to be made out of the lead up to the first Creator Clash event. But this exposure never happened because the documentary was never made, and the Briggs...
I don't want to. They're probably gonna figure out where it is, but I know a place. Mickey Rourke used to live here in Wiesbaden, right? I used to see him around pretty regularly for about a year, around 2012, 13, somewhere around then. So he goes to a place that I'm aware of, right, and gets in the paper, gets his picture taken there, and he has a good time. And it's all good. He calls this person and says, look, and I want to come in, but could you close the store? Right? And fucking cheap Scott says no. So you probably can figure out where it is. And he told him no, and he got pissed off, and he never went back. I said, like, what are you doing? Like, why wouldn't you want, like, we're only a couple years off of Iron Man at this point, I mean, he's pretty big. He's kind of toned down since, but, Iron Man, the wrestler, is one of the top actors in the world at the time. And he said to me something interesting, like, and it has something to do with what they're, like, these people the exposure can be more powerful than the actual cash. And that's what they're counting on. It does seem like a fair exchange. Once the picture's in the paper and it's on the bar, that's it. That's all you're ever going to get. If I close the place, and he says, he told me he'd been through this before. You know what they order? I was like, well, I imagine they'd fucking order the roof down. Like, nope. They'll get a cup of coffee. They'll get like some fries. And that's it. I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, they just want to close down because they're a celebrity. And that means I'm losing tons of money. So I already got what I want. He's using me and I'm using him, and I got what I wanted out of him. I'm closing my whole place down for him. This ain't Hollywood. It's fucking Wiesbaden, Germany.
Couple was never reimbursed.
And he said his job was to go around and like film Anissa having interactions with everyone. So
remember when Tommy was really little? There's this. I'd have to walk this big stairwell outside to go to drop him off at his babysitter's place. And she as I was taking him up, we have to do one step at a time, and we're talking about it's like 100 steps. And she would his girlfriend like parked right next to where we were coming out. He literally lived around the corner.
We didn't know if that meant they were going to make the second documentary about or the actual documentary about how like Anissa was responsible for the event, because she did put a lot of work in for the first event and she did put a lot of work in for the second, but at the same time, in the first event she didn't get credit for it. So
they stiff these people.
she felt like she deserved all the credit.
If that wasn't bad enough, Michael added that during their time training Ian, Anissa tried to control what kind of music played in their gym. The thing is, plenty of other people who had nothing to do with creator class
story.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Pretty much. Exactly
were
like
also
your
training at that
story.
gym. So Anissa was basically demanding favoritism just so that indie music would play in the background of training footage that would never even get released. When we all know what kind of music really belongs in the gym. Worst of all is that Anissa went above and beyond being petty about creator clash related endeavors and developed a personal grudge against Michael. At one point, Anissa went directly to Kate and said she had no idea why they were together, saying he didn't respect women, clearly trying to drive a wedge between them for seemingly no reason. Their relationship only grew more strained as time went on, as after Kate didn't respond to Anissa's attempt, Anissa discovered Michael had some Jewish ancestry, and according to them, she became more distant.
I didn't hear that part. Did you know about that part?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, from like when this happened. Yeah.
You know, I don't like to sit there and say that all Muslims hate Jews because I know that's, first of all, I know that's not true. Obviously, you don't. I know that a lot of them grow up with a lot of anti-Semitism, and I know, but I just think that's so fucking weird. And this would have been before October 7th, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, roughly, I'd say. Yeah, and actually, yeah, no, like yeah, a lot. Because like it would be prior to CC too.
Yeah, you don't know if he just threw that in there or if it's. It wouldn't shock me. Would it shock you?
No, not really. No,
it wouldn't shock me. Yeah.
But it would shock me if it's somebody like Anissa who grew up in the West, who grew up in America.
But Anissa, as we know, is a glass of water. She forms to whatever.
Yeah. She becomes.
She becomes. So if she's really into that shit, and you know, she grew up with a taste of anti-Semitism. Yeah.
And especially if she was like getting into the whole breadtuber shit.
Yeah,
that early on. So
yeah, sure. Bunch of anti-Semites.
Keeping them in the dark about the post-fight gala event, and eventually expressing they didn't need to be there, suggesting she specifically didn't want them to be there. Then, when the Briggs couple reached out to them for their support for a bill to end child marriage, which was relevant since Ian and Anissa knew Kate was a child marriage survivor, they were simply left on red. We'll eventually come back to the topic of the generosity of the Jamhas, and yes, the Jamhas, because Ian took her last name when they got married in 2021. Apparently just because they agreed that Ian's last
Not because he's a cuck.
name sounded bad.
The only reason why we chose my name over his last name is because his last name is like just objectively ugly. It's just like an ugly last name. Like Washburn sounds
that's an English name.
Horrendous. Like Anissa Washburn definitely stormed the Capitol.
For the time,
how about that? Yeah, how about y'all take the name and then use different like celebrity names or something?
Being everyone got to watch the
Washburn does sound like an STD in fairness. Yeah, good point. Washburn would be English. I think. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Joma means Friday in Arabic, so that's all I know.
What does Joma mean in Arabic?
It means Friday.
Oh. Okay.
Juma. Yeah.
I know guys named Friday. Washburn family name. Hold on a second. Well, they have a crest, and I was right. They're English. Ha ha. Family on Washburn. English origin. Ha ha ha. I was right.
Spoken but explicit transformation of Ian, from a guy who had regrets about how insensitive he'd been in the past to a full-on masochist. Another milestone of this metamorphosis is about a month after the first creator clash.
I got Washburn, man. Yeah. Ew. I have a doctor get a shot. I got Washburn.
iDubbbz appeared on Hassan Piker's stream, and of course, he was with Anissa. Again, if their objective was to be simply neutral and not take any risks, Hassan would probably be out of the picture due to his overtly political
weird,
online.
Those tattoos, it just looks fucking gross.
Yeah, I hate. You know, it's funny because like Nick hit it so on the head with the skateboard comment. She looks like a skateboard. So does he. It's so perfect, and I hate saying that because I'm stealing it from Nick. It's Nick's joke, as far as I know. Maybe he stole it from Shud, like he did Ultimate Rave Review.
Have you ever like seen those temporary tattoos that like you would get with gum as a kid? Yeah, maybe Jeannie has. I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
they do.
That's
They
what it
look-
looks like.
Yeah, you
all
put
those
the
just shitty.
you put the
tattoos.
coin in the thing and you turn it and you get a bubble and it's a fake tattoo.
Yeah.
It's a dragon, fire breathing dragon. Yeah, you're kind of right.
presence. But interestingly enough, that
Where like
didn't
you just
seem
like
to
pour
matter.
water on it.
Jeannie still uses those. Do you,
Yeah.
Jeannie? Stop using those. It's ridiculous. You get a real tattoo.
No, I don't. I've never. No, I will eventually. I mean, but
Don't.
I
I never
don't know.
got it. I was the only guy in the army that
I
got a
don't
tattoo.
even.
I never got a tattoo. I feel
I
stupid.
mean, I
getting
do
one
want
now.
one.
Yeah, me
but-
too.
I'm gonna get a Goldberg tattoo. I was gonna get a tattoo, but everybody's chickened out. I wanted to get one like a group. Like I'm glad I didn't because I don't talk to any of those people anymore. But we're gonna get a group tattoo, and then another time we're gonna get. And I chickened out, but I don't talk to those guys anymore either. So I'm glad I didn't do it. And then by the time I got in the army, everybody had tattoos, so I felt like I was, I don't know, like trying to fit in or something.
Here.
Because you were shitting on the most like right-wing content creators of that era. Maybe not like officially positioning yourself as that, but it did feel like, I mean, you were like, you dunked on Keemstar, Rice Gum, like obviously
right-wing content creators.
These are apolitical
Keemstar.
people, but they're still like very heavily slanted to the right. Leafy.
Regardless of how much online hatred they were attracting on an individual level, the first Creator Clash was a success, raising over $1 million for charity, selling over 100,000 pay-per-views, packing the entire arena, and having pretty much every person who attended compliment how well run and organized it was.
Anybody right as Stalin is a fucking right-wing content creator.
Especially compared to other influencer boxing events. The same could not be said for Creator Clash 2. In January of 2023, the second installment of the event was announced for April, which kicked Sam's online badgering of iDubbbz into high gear, to the point where people were making entire compilations out of it. However, Ian and Anissa weren't the only people in his
lousy kick.
Scope, as he also began notoriously targeting Hassan Piker. In late August of the same year, Sam took part in a boxing match and dedicated his victory speech to Hassan, saying he was looking for a boxing match and maybe a little more.
Got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division?
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring?
No, in real life.
So funny.
I'm going to stalk him
It's-
and become
it really-
obsessed with him and wear his makeup.
No, in real life. And then Hassan did the ultimate lefty thing, like, oh, that guy said he was gonna kill me. You pussy.
And his dresses. And use his skin as a coat. Like the ancient Irish did.
While this was pretty successful at disturbing Hassan, it didn't get him any closer
What
to
was his Irish character called? What did he call him? The
Candyman.
Candyman.
I think.
Candyman. I love the
Candyman,
Candyman.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. It's time to bring the Candyman back.
his goal of getting to Ian, so he changed his strategy. While Harley was also slated to fight in Creator Clash 2, this time Sam connected with Froggy Fresh, a YouTuber who got big over a decade ago with comedic rap videos. Froggy was set to fight Chris Raygun, another channel that, while still active today, peaked during the 2016 Anti-SJW era. All in all, a good matchup that made sense. A few minutes after Happy Punch would tweet that photo, Anissa's mother—
It is weird because in the first Creator Clash, I mean, it was kind of the dying, even the first one is the dying days of this whole boxing thing. Do you know Jake Paul had a fight this week? And
the only reason why I knew
nobody
about
else did either. Yeah, Cabo
was because of fucking yeah.
Cabo
Actually, yeah, I saw Cabo.
I'm like, oh shit, it's over, it's done, it's dead. And even back then, 2021 to 2022, it was kind of on its way out.
It was dying. It was like,
actually the only by then, honestly, the only one that was kind of interesting was Jake Paul. So it does feel weird to me that they went to these sort of, no disrespect to some of the OGs, and Froggy Fresh is one of the OG YouTubers and one of the greats, if you ask me. It's just, Froggy Fresh was in YouTube in a time where you actually had to have talent and not just do YouTube slop like I did. You actually had to have something to offer. Epic rap battle, Smosh. You had to have a more traditional, almost Hollywood-like gimmick or gifts. Who else was good? Like, you had to actually be a performer. Those days are long gone. I mean, even KSI was popular with the kids. I mean, he's just a great promoter, not just a boxing, of just about anything YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, like, he has his own
He's a
drink
talent
now.
for that. He's not a
Logan
talented.
Paul.
He's not a talented person, but he's definitely a talented promoter of all sorts of things. You know, he just KSI can make things cool. But he was like that next generation, the generation before the one Froggy was in. You actually had to be able to sing and dance, like almost like traditional Hollywood. And he had to know that these guys were kind of done, and they wouldn't have brought that many people in. No disrespect to Froggy Fresh, by the way. I love Froggy Fresh. He's been nothing but nice to me. But it's just, you figure with iDubbbz still had some pull that you could get like the top guys. But he was probably, they're all douchebags. I don't know. It does seem weird.
Using a sock puppet account titled The Pied Piper, replied to some tweets referring to Froggy, saying she hoped they would replace the imp. Froggy retweeted and replied to her tweets, referring to her by her real name and joking about iDubbbz being a pimp. And just like that, her account was deactivated. Just one day later, the official Creator Clash Twitter account announced that Froggy would no longer be fighting at the event, which left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Most notably, YouTuber Jadion offered a $100,000 donation to create.
What happened to him? I don't hear his name anymore.
I think like he became a Christian, like a very strict Christian YouTube.
He was red fucking hot. I don't hear his name at all anymore.
Clash if they reinstated Froggy, which wasn't even considered. And none other than Moist Critical tweeted, urging them to reconsider the decision. With that many people pitching in on the matter, you'd imagine that there'd be some better reasoning for Froggy's removal.
I figure you'd cave in, you know what I mean? At that point. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
no, wait, he catches pedos now, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably still big, but I just don't hear him as much as I used to, you know what I mean? Let's see if I can get this.
Yeah.
Thing
I mean, it's just, he's kind of like just in that whole community now.
Yeah, I guess. Wild.
Made public, but instead it was radio silence. At this point, people had already bought tickets for the event, and despite changing the lineup, Ian and Anissa felt they didn't even have to justify their decisions to their paying customers. Of course, there are plenty of problems with other fighting promotions, but you can easily find dozens of examples of fighters who got in pretty extreme trouble with the heads of their promotions and still were allowed to continue fighting. In this case, even with little to no information, it was clear what was happening, although it seemed like they wouldn't admit it. They developed a personal grudge against Froggy due to the things he had said, and the fact he was training with Sam probably did no favors with the Jamhas either.
I never understood by training, like, why didn't they have a problem with what's his face?
Harley? Yeah.
And if Sam's such an anti-Semite, why didn't he have a problem with Harley? And why didn't Harley have a problem with Sam? I mean, he didn't think maybe he thought it was a bunch of bullshit. Because clearly Harley. There is a line with Harley with the anti-Semitism. You know, like I would feel totally comfortable telling a Jewish joke in front of Harley, right? But there is a line, clearly.
Also, it's probably because like Harley was probably the biggest guy they had, for at least like for the first one.
They needed a heavyweight, I guess.
To his removal
they just
from
needed. I mean, like YouTube wise too. They just needed someone who.
I know it makes you look like I know I've done a 180 on this, but I mean, like Harley did get involved with this shit for the best of intentions, and I think I've talked to Harley in the past 2 months. I want to say about 4 hours total, and I totally believe that he even defended Ian, which was stupid to me. With the best of intentions, he had no idea. And I still think his defense. I still think he I still think he handled Froggy wrong, 100% wrong. I think he let him down a little bit, but I don't think there was any kind of malicious thing there. I think he honestly believed what he's saying, which I can't believe. And then he was using me to promote the fucking thing.
The event, despite the month.
I don't know why me, but
months of work.
That's what he told. That's what he told. What's that podcast he always goes on?
The one with
Painkiller Already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Decay.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great podcast. Those guys are great.
put into his training up until that point. As public pressure mounted, and people were widely perceiving the organization of Creator Clash as the unreasonable party, they decided to release another public statement. As you may be aware, we recently announced Froggy Fresh would be leaving the Creator Clash 2 ticket. We wanted to provide some additional information around the rationale for this decision to help clarify some of the online chatter. We have a legally binding code of conduct that each of our Creator Clash 2 fighters are held to, the violation of which is grounds for termination. Unfortunately, there were several violations made by Froggy Fresh during his tenure with Creator Clash this year. The Creator Clash 2 team, inclusive of the production company, takes violations seriously and made several unsuccessful attempts to address them directly with Froggy Fresh in the hopes we could work together to get things back on track. When it became clear that the exhibited behavior wasn't stopping, at risk to the other fighters, fans, and others involved in the event, the Creator Clash 2 team made the collective decision to move forward without Froggy Fresh on the ticket. Our #1 priority is ensuring Creator Clash 2 is a positive, safe, welcoming space for everyone. While their statement ended with a note about how much money had already been donated to charity, this did very little to satisfy people, including Froggy, who replied saying that he still hadn't been told what he did to warrant this treatment. He later retweeted this statement and claimed to have been threatened with a lawsuit if he spoke out about what was going on, and was asked to return the $15,000 he was given for the previous 5 months of training, which had already taken place. Oddly, after taking every opportunity to emblazon themselves as the face of the event, suddenly Ian and Anissa were nowhere to be found, and everybody was getting stonewalled by the faceless and robotic answers of the official account. Despite this hang-up going pretty much unexplained, the event went forward, and according to Anissa herself, the arena was packed, despite Taylor Swift holding a show simultaneously, which, in a reply, Anissa claimed made the hotels for the fighters a lot more expensive. Although Froggy's absence didn't seem to make that much of a difference for the majority of the people who attended, it made a huge difference for Chris Raygun, who he was supposed to fight. Instead of 5'2" Froggy, 5'4" Chris got matched up against 5'10" William Haynes, who was almost—
Jesus Christ, look at the reach he has on Chris.
Chris got fucked, dude.
I'm not a huge fan of Chris Raygun, but a lot of bulls get in a ring with that guy.
10 pounds heavier than him.
I have respect, and even iDubbbz for that, man. I have respect for anybody who does this. I wish I could have done it.
Surprisingly, he was TKO'd in the second round pretty brutally. Finally, after the event had ended, Ian revealed the real reason for Froggy's removal.
The main reason Froggy was kicked from the card was for collaborating with Sam Hyde. And, you know, for anyone who's been following the story—
But that doesn't make any sense, because it was already done. Like, a lot of this stuff happened just a couple weeks prior. Like, he knew he was collaborating with Sam.
That's, you know, fairly obvious. Froggy has explained, you know, his side of the story multiple times. And unfortunately, he's been perpetuating a narrative that it's about OnlyFans or that it's about Anissa's mom. And that's extremely deceptive, because he knows why he was kicked from the card. The one indication I gave him was Sam Hyde. And
Am I wrong? Isn't there one part of this video where he says, look at the way he talks about my wife, and he shows all clips after he fucking threw him off the card?
Yeah, after the fact, too.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
But at the same time, we're seeing early signs of the Ethan video.
Yeah, but like he talks about him as if it happened prior.
Yeah, he talks about how, and then but at the same time, he's saying it was Sam Hyde all along. But wasn't training with Sam Hyde done? He was in Texas at the time. And as soon as he has the problem with Denise's mom, who stuck her nose in it for no goddamn good reason, she called him a name. He fucking was a dick back. Like, why should I even believe him?
I wasn't unclear about that.
Additionally, he claimed through a series of text messages that Froggy knew exactly why he'd been
I'd love to see the dates on these, not just the time.
Terminated and had been pretending otherwise for attention. While it is a bit—
Yeah, but because Froggy apparently, according to this, Froggy was saying, I don't know why, I have no idea what happened. And then they have these texts, this part I watched, they have these texts, they made it pretty abundantly clear because it was because of Sam.
Odd that the announcement of the termination only came after Froggy's interaction with Anissa's mom. It was made clear in the text that he was given fair warning to not work with Sam in relation—
When? That's relevant.
To his match in Creator Clash 2, but he proceeded to do so anyway, claiming that Ian had no power over who he was friends with. In this specific case, even if the reason for the termination can be considered—
I think they were afraid that Sam was going to show up through Froggy somehow.
frivolous, it was clear Ian was telling the truth, and Froggy had been omitting it. However, in the same video, Ian claims that they had no interest in suing him and that he had been lying about that. But as it turns out, he had actually received a letter that not just notified him of his termination, but also demanded that he...
See, because I see those timestamps on those things, and it looks like they're recent. If they were done, maybe even done that day. If he told him Sam Hyde, I mean, look, there was what, 6-7 months before he signed on, before the fight started. Wouldn't it say a date? Wouldn't it give a date on those things? Am I wrong here? Like, if I see timestamps, I feel like they've been screenshot immediately or that day. Because after 24 hours goes by, you see. Now, I'm not saying I know, and maybe I'm missing something here. I mean, in fact, more than likely I am. Hi, Lieutenant Mangos. LT.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like that was just depending on
like,
the timeline.
Yeah, like what's the timeline here? I'm not like look, if he omitted the information and played dumb, then he did. All right, I'll say that all day, but it just doesn't look like it. Why would they have? So you mean they told him not to go to Sam Hyde months ago, and he didn't, and you saved him, you screenshotted him right there and then just in case this happened, or did you tell him that day, screenshot it, and try to make it look like he'd been warned? Because all those times, every one of those motherfuckers have times. Like it's 4 p.m. that day. When was this? That looks deceptive to me. So I'm going to stick until I see anything else. I don't think Froggy was deceptive at all.
And claims that they had no interest in suing him and that he had been lying about that. But as it turns out, he had actually
we salute the rank, not the Mangos.
received a letter that not just notified him of his termination, but also demanded that he cease and desist from speaking about the event and asking for the refund of the $15,000. Now, there are only two possibilities here. Either Ian knew the contents of this letter and lied about it on his video, or this section was included by someone without his knowledge, which led him to make this video not knowing that they had, in fact, threatened Froggy with a lawsuit. But neither possibility made Ian, Anissa, or the event at large look very good. Regardless of the details of the situation and their back and forth, it was just one aspect of the event, which up until that point wasn't signaling any—
I remember the major point of that fucking video being Froggy talks dirty about my wife. And why would I? And fair enough, right? I wouldn't let him on either. And then he played a bunch of stuff that when he was pissed off and was let go afterwards. Why would you like that? That's what I remember.
The issues until, well, it signaled every possible issue. On the 3rd of July, iDubbbz posted a video titled,
"This is great." As much as I love Harley, I really do. But boy, when I saw this video, I fucking wanted to dunk on that motherfucker. In fact, let's go back. And keep in mind, I love Harley, but this is we'll just show you how ugly it got between me and him. I love him to death.
Great music, by the way. At least like his other persona.
Where? Here we go. Remember this?
I got this. You ready? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I hear you clearly.
All right, before I start this, I hope your parents die of cancer. I hope your kids die of cancer. I hope your goldfish dies and all your friends get AIDS. I've firmly established that I'm a terrible fucking person. I'm conceding to you right now. So now that that's out of the way,
I wanted to concede also. I don't know if you're a terrible person or not.
We're not going to talk about your fuck up, are we? I want to talk.
This is right after the fucking video came out. I couldn't wait to talk about
and put a one in chat if this is what you want to talk about. How this got so fucked up so bad. That's what we're here for. By the way, he's still talking. Everybody, it is now time to say goodbye to Epic Meal Time. Goodbye! 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 Stick the charity up your ass.
There you go. But I was embarrassed by that because I really love Harley. I love him. I look at that now. See, like, just rekindled. Look, I had every right to be frustrated. I had every right to be frustrated. Abby did a good job on that, by the way. I know she doesn't like me anymore, but she did do a good job. I do appreciate it. It's Abby made that, by the way, Lynn. She actually made that for me. It was nice of her. So now she's probably getting in trouble with them. Sorry. But like the way I look at it now is I think he just believed fucking iDubbbz is bullshit. You know? That's what I think now. It was so frustrating because he was just trying to make me out to be like a bad dad and a bad this and someone who wanted the charities to fail. And like my point was, this thing was fucked from the top down. And really, the thing really went down. I'm sure it wasn't the only reason, but the Froggy Fresh thing, PR-wise, really hurt that. I don't know if it killed it, but it definitely hurt the damn Creator Crash too. And this was vindication. And I was so frustrated with him at the time. But now I hear that and I feel bad.
The harsh reality,
not that bad, but whatever.
of Creator Clash 2, where he revealed they had lost $250,000 on the event.
For Creator Clash 2,
because it sounded like me that he would just say the opposite no matter what I said. You know,
despite it being a fun event and despite good fights and a lot of creators sacrificing a lot of time, money, and energy, we lost $250,000 on the event.
It's unclear here if with we he meant him and Anissa, or he meant them and Real Good Touring, the company with which they work to host the events. There's also Mike Leonardi, the silent co-founder of Creator Clash, so I wonder if he's included here, which matters because although there may be an overall net loss, it's deceptive the way it's not specified how exposed Ian and Anissa were to it, meaning we don't know how much of that $250,000 is their personal loss. Immediately after, Ian says they weren't even able to pay off the minimums, which include the money for everyone's traveling, hotel, and training expenses.
Unfortunately, we didn't even reach the break-even point, right? We're $250,000 in the red. I foolishly...
People gave him that money, too.
...thought that the success of last year should be a minimum. A minimum for what we are able to do this year. And that wasn't true.
While I can't comment on the cost of each of these things individually, since they haven't been publicized by Ian, it's been pointed out that paying thousands upon thousands of dollars for each participant's training is an insane thing to do. And it's surprising that he doesn't even consider this maybe was an issue. If you actually watch the event, only 5 of the 12 fights even went the distance, and no one looked good as far as being a technical boxer is concerned.
It doesn't matter.
Clearly, they were all people who only took up the sport recently, and the thing is, that's not even a problem. Creator Clash and other...
Isn't that the fun of the whole thing? I would think. Who was that? That was the guy that really hurt him. Jesus fucking Harley is 6'7"?
Yeah, Harley's a big fucking dude.
Jesus Christmas. And that guy's only 6 feet tall. That guy's shorter than me. Oh my God. Not by much, but...
Events like it aren't professional or Olympic boxing events. It's not being watched by seasoned boxing connoisseurs who expect the fighters to be excellent. It's primarily being watched by viewers of...
Yeah, do you remember Ian talking about like, we have ours is like more real boxing.
The YouTubers who are taking part. And again, if it's not obvious...
There's no drama to it.
Yeah, these guys are... No, they're just a bunch of creators. They're not professional athletes.
Enough. People who are fans of Aaron Hansen aren't fans because of how well he boxes. Their job as entertainers...
I just want to see him punch somebody or get punched. That's it.
...is to entertain. And influencer boxing is one of the venues through which they can do that. But probably due to how much Ian and Anissa emphasized that they had to take the whole thing seriously...
Harley didn't even play sports growing up. You know that? He was more arty-farty, according to him. I mean, getting in like boxing in your late 30s, I mean, it's kind of crazy, being honest with you.
And dedicate themselves to training, the majority of the people here were not posting content related to Creator Clash 2. As it was pointed out by one commenter, even iDubbbz was guilty of this, as he, the co-founder and promoter in name
that is odd.
Only of the event, wasn't making content out of the lead up, which is something he actually did in Creator Clash 1. In this harsh reality video, Ian mentions that all of the creators all had to put their careers on hold while training for it, which is precisely the opposite of what they should do. Unsurprisingly, plenty of people didn't even know the second event was happening, and if they did, they had no idea when. The content creators, who were paid a decent amount of money to show up, were incentivized to not do the one thing they can actually be good at, creating content. And even that is being generous, since most of these guys didn't get any significant amount of views, meaning they couldn't promote the event even if they wanted to. I don't want to be disrespectful to these people, but the majority of them are randoms whose names don't get people buying pay-per-views, let alone tickets to the event. And yet, they're getting the same amount of money as the
Myth. Yeah, it sucks because Myth was one of the top guys at one time, you know? I mean, fucking changed Fortnite forever. Myth just dropped out, by the way.
Big names, despite bringing in only
Myth, you guys want charity, you feel you're a bad person.
A fraction, if even that, of the total viewership. Simply put, them being there cost more than it generated in revenue. Ian could have
the boxing version of you're only criticizing me because I'm a fill in the blank. I'm a black, I'm a Puerto Rican, I'm an Arab, I'm a woman. That was the boxing version. You want charity to fail, don't you? No, I don't want charity to fail. There's plenty to criticize here. Stop using a shield.
Dramatically reduce the costs and increase sales by only having the biggest content creators on the card. And, of course, telling them to
Why does he have that mustache? It looks awful.
Actively promote the thing they're doing. Alternatively, if he really wanted to include smaller creators without eating a huge cost, he could do it like the UFC does to prelim fighters. Pay them a small, flat rate for showing up, another small, flat rate for winning, and let them train however they want or not train at all. That way, the rest of the money could have been spent on promoting the event. No matter how much money you turn into ash by giving it to these people for training, it won't change that these are just gimmick fights involving untrained people who will look bad in the ring. With this in mind, they should have forewent everything, even weight classes, in order to make it more entertaining. Other companies have proved this is possible, but Creator Clash deliberately chose not to. If the cost and requirement for having people on the card were cut, I'm sure there would be computer-bound freaks with small followings who would throw themselves in the thresher for attention and the content they could farm out of their appearance. Based on
Where's first? I want to play what you call it after this.
On Ian's explanation of it, he believed that simply having more people on the card would generate more revenue, without taking into consideration whether these new people had any sizable following whatsoever.
I thought, okay, you know, we're bringing on more talent, we're bringing on more creators. That should translate to more pay-per-view buys.
Even if he paid them all the same, which he might have been dumb enough to do, it's obvious that the biggest creators will bring in the crushing
I would like to skip ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, we skip ahead, we'd be going to
I want to skip ahead.
the current timeline.
Yeah.
Episode. It didn't go that
Yeah,
well.
I'm
He
losing
seemed
interest
extremely
as well.
low energy
Yeah, it was weird. This episode was totally weird.
in the video, hurting the
This Cold Ones thing is fucking huge. I mean, you figured you'd be ready to go.
overall entertainment value. And
You
even
just open the stream, that's weird. Yeah, like I almost want to play. I don't know if Jeannie can. Can you play after this, Jeannie? We'll go back to our
Play repo?
No, I was
Or
thinking.
DayZ?
I was thinking DayZ. Well, because we're all together.
Oh, by the way, tell me, Splitgate 2 came out.
Yeah, I heard it looks stupid.
I don't know.
I like it.
I haven't had dinner yet, so I'd like to eat.
All right. I'm just floating it. Let's see this.
Even if that hadn't been the case, it's likely the comment section would still be what it is, given how Ian had changed. It was so kind of you guys to bring on this freshly lobotomized boy. He almost acts like he's present and living in the moment. You guys are lucky he could fit you in between his wife's tattoo appointments. Bro looks like he's actually banned from having fun. But at this point, Ian had chosen to plunge himself into a crab bucket, and they were ready to pull him back down before he could crawl his way out. In this case, it was due to his past ties to H3H3. Ethan and iDubbbz were previously friends.
Please, Zomboid, you gotta teach me everything on Zomboid. I don't know fucking shit from shampoo.
Being a part of 2016 YouTube culture with others like Anything for Views, Max Mofo, and of course, Filthy Frank. They would all collaborate a few times, but Ian and Ethan actually lived in the same
Fucking like they're like the Beatles of YouTube.
state, making it pretty easy to get together and throw together a banger. And I do mean
Even back then, you had to be reasonable. Even if you're doing like what do they call it? Low effort content, you still had to be talented, and all those guys, except Chad. I'm just kidding. We're really talented guys.
That sucks.
Banger.
That's terrible. That guy said terrible things about me. Fuck him.
They would do vlogs, a food review parody. They went
Chad's talented his own way. He's not talented in their way.
shooting. It felt like they were genuine friends that got along. To this day, the second most viewed video on the H3 channel is them sitting in Ethan's house making fun of Logan Paul. But since then, things have changed quite a bit. Ethan quit his main channel in favor of podcasting and has had his own series of controversies, many of which I've already made videos on.
Yeah.
But perhaps the greatest would come from his ties to Hassan Piker, a controversial Twitch streamer
They're all caught up now.
I called it.
But I'm sure many of you are familiar.
What did I say? Why would you want to sit down with somebody who wouldn't mind seeing you dead? Boy, did he prove that more clear than I could have ever hoped.
with. In 2021, they started a podcast called Leftovers, mostly revolving around political issues. But eventually, the show fell apart as Ethan and Hassan's relationship crashed and burned. As far as I can tell, this was mostly over the fact that Ethan, who is Jewish and critical of Israel, but also married to Hila, who briefly served in the IDF, wasn't sufficiently pro-Palestine for Hassan and his audience's liking. After their final debate on the issue, it went on a hiatus. While they briefly remained on good terms, as Ethan claims to not just want to continue debating about it, but also donated $6,500 to Hassan's pro-Palestine charity.
What a waste of money that was. Probably went to guns.
Their fan base was largely behind further.
Do you want to help the orphans in Northern Ireland? Put your money in there, American. Yeah.
Inflaming the discussion. Over the course of months, Hassan's fan base grew increasingly.
Exactly right.
I mean, it's the same reason why I don't donate.
The Irish Americans of New Jersey, welcome to our Irish festival. I just want to let you know that you're just as Irish as me. Now here's a can. If you put the money in, it'll go to all the orphans in Northern Ireland. That those rotten English-made orphans, and we'll help them with an AK-47. I know all about that shit. Doesn't that movie The Devil's Own take place in New Jersey too? With Brad Pitt and Harrison Ford, and he's like the guilty Irish American. Oh, let's help this poor bastard out. And he turns out to be a fucking stone cold killer. That's a good movie. Underrated.
Cynical and negative toward not only Ethan, but also specifically his wife, Hila, who used to be an IDF soldier. Meanwhile, Ethan's own audience.
I mean, she was a soldier. I'm not going to take it. Sorry, I don't want to hear your goddamn stuff yelling at me. But I mean, she wasn't a combat soldier.
Him, reiterating his overall support for Palestine to counter-signal any accusations that he was a staunch Zionist. Eventually, this back and forth between their respective fan bases evolved into—
And I gotta be honest with you, she's not a staunch Zionist. I'm more of a Zionist than they are.
a back and forth.
What the fuck that means? I don't even
Yeah, they're. I mean, like they're very, 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 very pro-Palestine.
I'm not pro-Zion. Zionism means like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Zionism means like
Zionism just means like
100% Jewish.
Israel to exist. No. It's just
Israel.
Just like wants to be Jewish.
If that's true,
Jewish
I'll throw
state.
myself in there. Yeah, I think it should be a Jewish state. Yeah, absolutely.
Between them, as Ethan began perceiving some people in Hassan's orbit as anti-Semitic and assumed
they take them all out of fucking Long Island. I'm just kidding.
Hassan either didn't mind or actively agreed with them. Ultimately, the brunt of their problems with each other are political, but you can basically summarize it by their positions. Ethan was left-leaning, but Hassan was a lot more leftist, and so was his fan base. And Ethan claims that only after cozying up to them did he realize the situation.
Bullshit. And you know what? If that's true, you should be ashamed of yourself.
He had put himself in, having a large amount of his fan base be more radical. A few months after doing a stream addressing his problems with Hassan and his community, Ethan posted his content nuke on Hassan at the tail end of January 2025.
It's been 6 months already. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I remember like where I was
shit.
when this video came out.
It's been 6 months.
Of course, this was not taken kindly by Hassan's fan base.
I'm kidding, Jack Walker. That's one of the two things I miss the most: pizza and bagels. Let me tell you, I meant that's. But otherwise, I'd never go back to fucking New York and New Jersey. I'd be fine with me.
And about a month later,
I remember Chubbs. That's the real Chubbs, by the way.
Oh shit, it's Chubbs.
My man.
Ethan returned to announce that, most likely in response to the content nuke, someone called CPS on Ethan and his family, trying to get his kids taken away from him, claiming that their kids were crawling around in and eating dog feces.
Chubbs was the only actual funny Englishman in that whole fucking crew.
In his video, Ethan...
Dirty secret. The rest of them were just riding waves. Chubbs actually had comedic timing and talent.
Shows a clip of these claims being made by YouTuber...
Even though I hated his guts. He was true. He was the funniest one out of all of them.
Bad Empanada. While Twitch streamer Denims, someone closely associated with Hassan, who shares much of her viewership with him, reacted and commented on the story.
Donnie, we're pretty much like all caught up now. Do you want to like keep watching or?
Yeah, all this stuff is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, like we're pretty much all caught up. We've done endless.
Yeah, go watch
streams on
yeah,
this.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, buddy. What's his name? DM King. Breaking news. Jury's reached a verdict in the criminal case against Pete. Verdict may be announced soon. Woohoo! Let's keep an eye. So JFA sent me something. Apparently he was busting. I haven't seen this. I deliberately didn't want to watch it, so
hopefully it's good.
Hopefully, if it's, I'm trusting him. I'll never trust him again. So this was.
Yeah, I think it's JFA. So.
My after show. You could be trolling me.
Yeah, it's JFA.
This is my after show. And I guess I was going over like the thing that Aiden sent me, where he's being a total fucking phony. I had to talk to you that way because you're so sensitive. You had to talk to me like you're a total fraud. Well, it's funny. I took it like you're a total fraud. I didn't take it like you were trying to be nice to me. Nobody talks to me. I don't know how anybody in their right mind could think that would get anywhere but make me more suspicious. Hey, Tommy, I'm for it, but
because it just goes back to the whole politics. No, Tommy, it just goes back to the whole politics.
Yeah, I know.
Thing.
Talk to me
Where because you believe in something I don't, it means that you're stupid. So I'm gonna treat you as if you're this stupid fucking person.
Oh yeah.
That's just all it is.
You know what it is. He knows. Here's the thing. Aiden knows it's stupid, and he knows it's fake, and it's really funny how much content I've generated over there by just saying, "I don't trust you, and I don't like you. Leave me alone." That's enough for these.
I mean, so dude, Aiden doesn't give a shit. He's just doing this for fucking content. He admitted to it himself.
So I don't want nothing to do with him. Good, okay, fine. You're shifty fucking.
Yeah. He doesn't fucking care.
That's funny. So wait a minute. All right.
Fuck that timestamp.
You give me a timestamp. I should have known. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. You're such.
Hold on. Let me DM him.
Oh, I could do that too. Let's see. He doesn't even write it down because he's such a dipshit.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. It's JFA.
What's a timestamp, shithead? I bet he's asleep.
Just do the transcript thing if it shows up.
No, because I don't want to search it. I'd rather save the fucking thing. Fuck it. I'd rather save it. I'd rather take calls.
No,
I'd rather take calls. I'll take calls.
Hold on. 6 minutes and 3 seconds.
How do you know?
I'm looking at our DMs.
No, we don't know. No, it's a specific thing between the chat and stuff. I'm not gambling and I'm not fucking searching his video. No, I'd rather get it right and save it. I thought when he sent me the thing, he got the timestamp, and he doesn't. He probably doesn't know how to do it. Put the little check mark in there. He's probably eating Nerd City's cats. Oh man. Otherwise, I'm gonna end it. What a jackass.
Yeah, save it.
Sitman. What does Sitman want? Is that it? All right, Sitman, come in here. Then prep me. I want to react to this live. I don't want to fucking see this shit. Get in here, Sitman.
I'm looking at it right now. He is in another VC.
Get in here.
He should be able to join. Oh, there he is.
Get in here. Yeah, pull him in.
Yay.
Are you sure this is what he's talking about?
Yes, this is the JFA part that you're talking about, the confrontation.
100%.
100%. It's not that exciting.
Oh, it's not that fucking sucks.
It's exciting for JFA. Do not get me wrong.
Fine with admitting I'm wrong.
But it does point out that for whatever reason, Aiden is all about debates. It's that simple.
Okay. I'm debate pro. I love them that. I just not giving them what they want. They're fucking freaking out. It's so funny. Let's see. Where's Jay? I don't see JFA's thing right here. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. He's like, Aiden lives in a world of loopholes.
Is this from now recording?
I don't know what this is from. This is 13 days ago.
No, I'm asking Sipman.
I actually think this is in Aiden's server.
You sure? Oh, okay.
Oh, so
no, because I see a bunch of people. Sure, I recognize. I see the win. I see the win. I see Ghost Gaming. Yeah, I think this is from our recording.
Oh, he lives in a world of loopholes, and talking out of trouble. He doesn't know accountability. It's never his fault. Is he saying that I said that? Is JFA saying that I'm saying that?
No.
Because that's what
he's trolling. He's trolling.
Aiden is always ready to Discord you at any time, Tommy. I hope the missiles accidentally land on Aiden.
Oh shit, Chubbs! I just realized something, dude. Chubbs is watching when we're talking about Aiden.
It's funny. It's funny. Especially Aiden, the kid you're most charitable with. Volt, send me an Aiden tweet, please. So what is he talking about? Aiden's such an app slur.
Wait, Volt? The fuck did I do?
Aiden has issues in general. So supposedly he gets all uppity about this.
That is completely my fault.
And it's like
right?
calling out JFA and saying, "Hey, come on stream, let's debate, let's talk about it."
All right.
And JFA is just like, "Nah, I'm good."
So he sent him a bunch of bullshit. All right, let's watch. Are you watching, by the way?
Yes.
Man, so you don't talk over it? Okay, here we go.
Totally fine. I'm totally fine with admitting I'm wrong on things. And that is completely my fault. That situation, right? And many other situations are completely my fault. Okay? There are things I have done that I'm not proud of. If you wanted to make good points against me, a good one would be High Tree. Right? That was.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, I'll put that one on the list too. Still don't want to be your fucking friend, you jerk off.
Situation I felt
Who the fuck is High Tree?
Very bad over. I fucked this guy over pretty bad.
Thanks for giving me ammo.
I kind of was like being like actually snaky towards that guy. This was years ago, but I was being actually snaky towards him. Okay, and then behind the scenes, I had reached out about a year ago. To
why does he care what I think?
Because I thought I was wrong. I apologize.
I'm a winter brain retard.
But so there are things I've done wrong that are my fault, and there are things that I will continue to do wrong. But to say
here's another thing you did wrong. I said no, and it wasn't enough. Now let's listen to your lecture on consent. No, I don't want anything to do with you. No.
That I don't take accountability is just like it's just coming from someone who doesn't know me.
Did I ever say he doesn't take accountability?
You're like asking me, or
what the fuck? What's going on? It's frozen. We're frozen.
Yeah, they just make criticism. Exactly.
Oh no,
like,
Aiden's just thinking.
Points that you could litigate against me. Not even good points, but points that like reiterate common sentiment and have some basis.
Like what?
For example, you could say, "Oh, he's always a contrarian because he takes the unpopular position on every issue."
Make me look.
Thanks, Aiden.
Here's what you can do to make me look bad. Say that I take tough arguments. That's.
And it's not true, but at least you have some basis for believing that. You're noticing a pattern, right? To say I suck up is like the opposite of what the pattern would indicate, right? To say I'm like a suck up, which is what Tommy was essentially saying.
I scammed a communist. Yes, you did. I don't know what he is. He's something new every week. That's another thing. Add that to the list of fucking stuff that I find weird. Every time you turn around, he's in some fucking new political space.
And to say I don't take accountability is also the opposite of what the pattern would indicate. I take accountability whenever I feel I do something wrong.
Who cares?
Whoa, dude, he's such a good person.
Here's what I'm not doing, Aiden. I'm not sitting there doing this so everybody can take me seriously, because you have this fucking fetish about being taken seriously when it comes to YouTube drama. I think that is
it's just him wanting to like be an authority.
I want to be the authority on the most pointless.
It's the same reason why whenever he changes his politics, he just comes off as if he's been into this political stance for fucking ever.
I think he wants people to think he's smart. Like, who cares if people think he's smart?
No, that's the point. Who gives a shit? It's the fucking internet.
How come this gives a shit? How come this? How about this? You and your ilk are deeply insecure. Deeply insecure. And you need this sort of relevance because the rest of your life is so fucking empty. That's why you can freak out over kinetic Kel and you freak out over this and freak out over that, because there's nothing else there. I take accountability. Like it's an attack. Like, since when was I don't trust you? You're a shifty fuck. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to go on your show. Like an attack on your fucking credibility. You know, when most people that were totally secure, fuck that guy.
Kind of looks like John Swan actually with that T-shirt in the hair.
Starting to look like
that's funny.
Another shifty fuck. Look at him reading intently.
JFA has allegations against him. Be careful.
What?
Will you finally take accountability over you giving me the child I always wanted? Well, you can litigate it with me in court, bitch, because that's not my son. Okay. I know your little game, okay?
No, you don't. You're falling for it.
You were sleeping around with plenty of guys. It's not my fucking kid.
Look at him.
He just thinks he's just a fucking dead air and just kills me.
Yeah, that's all because he cares what everybody thinks. He's not putting on a show. He's doing a stream.
True. Okay, I'm just doing some quick last minute.
Do what I do. Don't give a fuck. Don't care if anybody goes, oh, you won't debate, you're a pussy. I don't care.
I think I fucking hate it with all these fuckers.
I don't care.
The amount of dead air. Sid, man, you can vouch for me
it's
on
all
this
about them. And
because,
same agreement, they just sit there and look at the
you
fucking thing.
watch them.
They have nothing to say.
The fucking dead air is insane.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like, if you're being really, if you really want to be honest here, like, I loved how Queeman, like, back in the day would actually, like, tune into, like, other streamers that he actually despised, disliked, or anything, such as Stardust and so on, would just pull up their stream, and there was nothing being said, say, dead air, dead air, dead air. But then you go over to Queeman's stream nowadays, and there's a good chunk of dead air, mic muted.
You sent me, like, a clip of Queeman. For like, most of it, it's just all fucking dead air. There's fucking nothing, man.
Yeah, things are buffering up there, man.
What's the chat saying?
Yeah.
What's the chat saying? What's the chat saying? I mean, you gotta interact with your
chat. Does chat like me?
Does chat like me? Does chat like that's better? That's even better. Does chat like me? Does the chat like me? Is my take okay? Okay, let me adjust it a little so the chat. I mean, god damn.
How many W's did I get in the chat?
W?
For my take?
I think you got a L. I think you got a W. That's why they don't know how to deal with me. What they're doing is they're looking for some kind of closure to this thing. And I'm not giving it to him. I'm not going to give it to him, right? So he comes, I have an idea. Everybody else has been a prick to Tommy. I'll be phony nice to him, and he'll come right to me because I'm a good read of people.
Yeah, he'll be eating out of my hand.
Yeah. Oh, I care about your career. And get the fuck out of here. I had to talk to you that way because you're so sensitive. Oh yeah. Oh, there was a video last night. Somebody added me at it. Nick DiOrio takes a shot at Tommy C. Right, and I watch it, and it's him goofing at a guy with a vape pen, right? and like God, he's like, God, it looks like Tommy trying to quit smoking, and it was really funny to him. And to be honest with you, it was pretty funny. I was on the lolcow podcast. I was literally like. Oh, I gotta talk. I gotta come at you like a total fraud, a total phony. Talk to you like I've never talked to you before. Talk to you in a way that you would, if you knew anything about me, I would find completely unacceptable. I fucking hate compliments.
Checks. Make sure I got everything.
Yeah. Check. Make sure everybody likes you.
By the way, before we proceed,
make sure the community approves. You're a real intellectual. Does the community approve?
Odds wants to do it. We have a Twitter community now. So clip like hell, okay? Clip when I make a point on something, clip like hell.
Tommy, when I
make a point on something?
Yeah, I know. Let me use my monster mind. I remember we played
when I give an epic political take. Please.
I know.
Clip it.
Clip my mastermind. It's YouTube drama. If anything, this era of YouTube drama, it sucks even more than usual. It's not that serious. Yeah, fight,
gay,
start fights and do all that stuff and go after each other, make fun of each other, bully the fuck out of each other. But Jesus, don't pretend that you're like an intellectual. I mean, Jaden, you're a dumb kid.
And the thing is, dude, during the RFC era, people just made fun of Aiden like nonstop. They'll just fucking bullied him.
Yep,
and now for some reason,
you think it gets
he
me
wants
too,
to
what
be.
He said yesterday, like they're sitting there joking around about me sending dick pics to 14-year-olds, and he's like, "Well, Tommy, I disagreed with that." Like, okay, sure. It's the same thing Chuck does. He would bring it up and say, "Yeah, that's really out of line," and then keep the next thing and the allegation. You start to think to yourself, like, maybe they're doing that on purpose. I got to be honest with you. A couple weeks ago, if somebody did that to you, I'd cut them off completely. That's pretty serious. You fucking dipshit. Why don't you don't have a proper justification for not liking me? Yes, I do. I have plenty of justification. Here's all I need. I don't like you. I don't trust you. Cope, as the kids say. All right. I think that's it. Who cares what I think?
Is there more sibling?
You're not allowed to say that. Yes, I am. I can say whatever the fuck I like. Everybody
are there any more clips, or is that it, Sibman?
Fuck the pine.
That was all that I had.
Oh, that's fine.
No,
Okay. Good, I thought. It's 4 more JFA. Pulling up JFA. JFA is fucking perfect troll.
I mean, like when he spoke to D-Max, that was fucking perfect.
Oh god.
He's just.
You guys have a good
that was perfect.
The guy fucking trolls me. Take care.
All right, man.
D's, you're on the air. Hey, D's. D's. 3.
You want to see my D's nuts, dude?
What's D's nuts? What's up, man?
That's the point, yeah. Anyways, so I haven't been able to call since they've cut our internet.
Oh shit! Is that Iranian?
Oh shit! We were trying. Oh fuck! Dude. You know, we were. Who did I ask to try to get a hold of him? And we couldn't fucking remember your stupid fucking name.
It has like me and
we
Janie,
were worried. We were worried about you, dude.
I was ever asked.
No, well, you were.
I thought Tommy was supposed to ask you.
Fuck. Were you?
Fucking dipshit. I would.
You were off that week. I promise you that I wouldn't call you for a couple days and just let you get settled. All the crazy shit was going. That was the week it happened.
If it was an emergency like that, I would have been like, yeah, sure, fucking.
All I'm saying, dude, it's okay. It's okay. I really wanted to give you a rest. I really did, and I did. And then you got sick anyway. You got sick. You would have been back a couple days ago. I wanted to give you a rest. D's, I can't tell you this. I was really worried about you, man. How'd it go? Tell us the story.
I appreciate it.
You really were. We really were. I'm sorry I didn't get a hold of you. I couldn't remember the fucking name. And then Jeannie was on hiatus.
You couldn't get a hold of me if you wanted to.
Wanted
they cut the fucking internet.
Jesus Christ! Can you tell us a story? By the way, for my audience, were you in Tehran? Or
no, man, I'm in. I don't
Don't
know.
tell. Okay, all right.
Don't say where you are. Don't say where you are.
Not even the city.
No,
don't
say
fucking
it.
Idiot.
You can say close to this or close to that. You can say close to this or close to that. Not
just say far close. That's it.
Far close.
Well, let's just say pretty damn close to where I could hear some explosions. Let's put it like that.
What was that?
But not close enough to be irradiated. Let's put it like that.
Well, let me tell you something. You've been saying crazy shit on my show. Like, why don't you guys come bomb us? And I'm like, you don't want that.
They did.
Now we did. How do you feel about it now?
Yeah. The thing is, Tommy, I was expecting the people to be waiting for a chance like this, for the regime to be weak and shit. But the thing is, I've really lost hope for these people. I need to get myself out, as you told me
you got
it. Because
get out.
Because these lazy dipshits are only thinking of themselves.
I mean,
They're
I've been hearing things about Khomeini, dude. He's apparently like he's still hiding. He's pretty weak.
He's hiding like a rat.
Be careful. Yeah, but you know what? We've been waiting. Museums, shit, it never works. You can do all the shit you want, and it never fucking works.
I know, but I thought the people. I don't know. Let me tell you something, Tommy. During the 12-day war, I went outside. I know, shocker. But
12-day war. Is that
we are. Anyway, I was in the streets and shit in a pretty populated place, and you might not believe this, but I found young people to be smiling.
Yeah, weren't you scared though? I mean, I was on the phone with
We could hear bombings and shit, but everyone was just smiling. It's like just a month ago, everyone was just dreaded, a fucking angry face they were making, everyone, but not this time. I could tell the vibe was much more positive. Last month, a fucking grey cloud was over all of society, as far as I could tell. It was very fascinating to me. But then again, they won't do anything. That's the fucking
it's not
part.
easy to do something like that. Like a lot of people are going to die, and it might not work. And the thing is, they catch you, you're better off dying because they catch you. They're going to cut your dick off.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah. Well, did you pick up a gun? So don't be judging those people. I'm not going to judge those.
Give me a gun and I'll pick it up.
No, you need to get. If you want to do that, you got to run. No, if you want to do that, you got to run in circles, and which puts you in danger. That's a serious thing, you know. I mean, like you can't judge those people if you're not willing to do it yourself.
I'm willing to do it myself. All I have to see is someone else out there with me.
You have to hang
all.
around those circles. And first of all, you got to be in shape.
Well, that I'm not, admittedly.
Well, yeah. Then they start getting in motherfucking shape and get ready to take a fucking one to the chest. Because that's a lot to ask somebody. It just sounds like...
I'm ready about the second part.
Because I know a lot of like fucking right-wingers did this back in like in the old Iraq days. Like, yeah, our guys go get them. And like, yeah, why don't you jump in? And like, no, fuck that. You know, I mean, like I never appreciated that shit. You know, and I mean, even a guy like me that was not was combat support. You know, like Vega looks at a guy like me, like you didn't even jump in. You went half-assed. You got the fucking stripes and you didn't even have to fight. No, you gotta sacrifice everything, and that's a lot to ask anybody, man. You know.
Yeah, I suppose, but it's just so disappointing. My dad and his dad before him, and probably his dad before him, if he fucking realized what was happening, we all wanted this godforsaken fucking shithole regime to collapse, and it still hasn't happened. God fucking damn it.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
It's just so disappointing.
It only really happens.
That's how you're going.
See, the economy's not bad enough there. The economy's bad. It'll happen.
It is. You have no fucking clue. It's
starving.
So bad.
Are people starving? Are people starving? No. That's
some of them.
Yeah, well, that's
some
everywhere.
of them.
Yeah, but it's got to be like a majority. It's got to be at least 40%.
No, it's like 20. Is 20 not enough?
20s? Probably not.
Shit.
Because you can kill 20% off pretty
I mean,
easy.
the 20%, they're like probably like all just on the outskirts of it, roundabout, I guess. They have like they're just so far out where most of the population just don't know.
No, man, it's like
that's
the
just me
middle class
guessing.
is
That's just me
collapsing.
guessing.
Yeah, I know. The middle class is like collapsing. All we have is like the fucking oligarchy that's running the place, and
they're just gonna
fucking the rest
They're just
of
gonna
us.
hold on. Just get the fuck out of here. Come to Europe, man. You
Just
mean
get out,
nice
man.
girl.
I'm
Yeah,
considering
you
it.
live in a brothel.
You'll finally get laid.
Yeah.
Come to Europe. You've got
Yeah.
skills. You speak great English. You seem like a good guy. I mean, you're the type of Middle Eastern person I want. I want to be
muted.
Western.
They got him.
They got him. Yeah, they want to be Western. They want to put into. They want it yeah. You're the guys we want. Go to the States. You know, or something.
They won't let me. Trump fucking banned us.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
deporting
guys
Go to
people that are
Europe.
illegal.
Go to Europe.
Yeah.
Go to Europe.
They'll take anybody. They'll take
And
the
actually,
people.
dude,
They'll take the people you're
dude.
trying to get away from. You know.
And now
what's
I'm
the most
actually
likely place
like
take
trying to
us?
help you.
Canada.
Don't go to Canada.
But that's a shithole. I'm not going there. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
yeah, don't
Shithole,
go
but
to
it's
Canada.
because
You could honestly
coming one.
You could honestly like go to either Dubai or Kuwait or Saudi. You're probably better off there.
Well, do what? I'm not exactly.
What's your?
Have
you gone?
Start doing
So
schooling
what's
and
your-
taking jobs and pay.
School shit.
And don't take fucking art history.
I'm looking into being a barista right now. I don't know,
What's
man.
a barista?
Fuck, you're fucked.
What's a barista?
What do you like to do?
Coffee
Do you
shop
like
thing.
computers? Do you like
Yeah.
computers? Do you?
Yeah, I've studied software. I'm good at some
Okay.
software shit like Adobe
So-
shit. And
Okay, hold
my
on.
dad is
So,
also.
Google.
Let me finish. My
Yeah,
dad
let
is
him
also an electrician. I can do soldering and all that shit. Yeah. That's
All
it.
right. So Google, they offer like degrees that you could get. That could kind of help boost you a little bit. He's
I
like,
don't know. All right, enough of
certificate.
this fucking job. You go talk offline.
I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to
I know you're
fucking.
trying-
I'm actually
not-
trying to
not-
fucking
on
help
your
him.
own fucking time.
No,
Yeah.
Tommy's right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Volt. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys can talk offline. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sure.
You know. I'll fucking-
Anyway, I appreciate the concern, Tommy.
I was concerned.
Well, don't
I'm
die, man.
adding you. I rarely do this, but I'm adding you as a friend just to make sure I'm.
Oh, I appreciate that very much.
No, leave me. Don't
Holy shit.
fucking send me too stupid stuff. All right. I'll talk to you
I'm
later,
not
dude.
sending you anything.
Bye.
Yeah.
Guys got bombed. Yeah, I don't know. For also, I'm like, Versus mad at me because I'm like trying to bring Islam to the States. He's like,
Another fucking immigrant. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not another one.
Regurgitator sent me this.
Hi there. Would you like to sign my petition? Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Okay, it was fucking funny. All right, let's do what you call
Pants.
Yeah, let's see. Let's do pets and fucking call it a day. And then let's meet up in room 1 and bullshit. And then maybe we'll, I don't know, play games, whatever. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe people want to go to sleep. Fucking sucks. Member, creator. I'm still subscribed to the Star Wars thing. Oh no, I lost a fucking whatchamacallit. Bum 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 bum. No. Let's see. Active. Pledge. Nesquik, Oprag, Mexan, B, Blue Jacket, Cody Grill, Final Flash, Dreamman, Ghost Gaming, Little Manly, My Typical Mon, Panic Bun, Taylor D, Tommy Sees Cat, Jeannie, and Picklington, Will Dillon. That's all. I lost somebody. Oh, Final Flash. He's still in there.
There he is.
Yeah, somebody did that. Though. Wasn't one of the top guys. They're all the same. The $10 guys. Appreciate y'all. I guess we're done. Let's see. Yeah, you're still there. Thank you, Final Flash. Don't get any ideas, Final Flash. GG. All right. I'm gonna go into Prime 1, and you can we'll meet there. First wants to meet there and can figure out something to do. Dead Dave is not dead. No, he's not. Jobs, I scammed the communists. That's so funny. That's like the tweet of the day. Talk to you later. Bye.